What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to SpawnCast episode 102. Sean's at his uncle's, I think he said, right? He's at his uncle's, like drinking at a party and like bouncing and stuff. So somehow I figure Sean will just end up being like the loud guy at karaoke, like he was at like the Too Many Games party. So I don't know how long that bouncing is going to last, but we have a couple people here, and then Nate, I guess, is going to be joining us midway through at some point to go over some of the topics today. But starting from the left on my screen, we have Dreamcast guy Max. How's it going tonight?
Good. Been playing Division all week, and actually, because of a conversation we had on SpawnCast today, I finally bought Metro Exodus. So you can see it's still sealed. So I'm going to be playing that next week. I'm excited.
Nice. Yeah, it's been good. I had to put it down to get on all these other games, but I'll go back to it and finish it. I think I was about halfway through it, so I'll go back and finish that one up. Then we got Evan. Evan also was diving into the Division pretty hard. So how's it going, Evan?
It's been a crazy, I'm hoping 2 days. I'm still not sure what day it is. It's
pretty... so it must be good then. If Evan is like losing track of days over there. We got Jordan here. Jordan, what's going on, man?
Well, what's going on? Glad to be here.
And then we have OJ, of course. How's it going, man?
What's up? Just want to announce that I'm writing a book on not Sega.
Yeah, Sean is writing a book on the 32X. I'm sure he'll talk more about that at some point on the SpawnCast in the future.
Okay. I'm going to write a book on the Sega CD.
Yeah, I don't think there are any books on that. There you go.
It's going to be good. Don't worry. Just guys, buy it. Don't worry, it's coming.
Sean's in a good position because he actually has the complete collection of Sega 32X games. He has all of them. So
you have to actually have the games to write the book?
I guess.
I'm not writing a book. I'm sorry.
So he'll be doing that. It'll be pretty cool. He'll be selling it, I guess, on Amazon and stuff. And I was telling him to at least get one actually printed up and made so we can have it. But I'm sure he'll get some of those made and take them to like Too Many Games to sell and stuff. So it'd be pretty cool. Pretty cool to see that. Pretty cool. And we had a $25 donation right away from David through Super Chat, saying thoughts on the Mega SG and insight on the PolyMega announcement next week. David, we'll touch on that in a minute here because it's a shame because Sean's not here. That would have been perfect because the PolyMega was firing some shots at Analog on Twitter. I don't know if any of you guys saw that, like Max. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. It was pretty hilarious.
And we'll go through some of the other ones. Thanks, Wishbone and Ethan and Lycon. We'll go through some of those when we get to our break. Actually, we'll talk about that real quick, David. The Mega SG looks awesome. They're having a game like on there that was never released as a Sega Genesis game. It is going to the PlayStation 4, I believe, as well, though, as like a limited run game style thing. That's gonna be cool. Who's doing that? Is it Super Rare Games? There's a game that's going to be on there that they're also going to be releasing on like the PlayStation 4 and I believe the Vita. But the Mega SG, I have the Super NT and it is a very good system, so I have a ton of confidence in them. I'm not really sure why the PolyMega team was firing shots at them on Twitter because they haven't released anything yet, whereas Analog has. So I'm not really sure what the deal is with that. Analog's just releasing some good stuff, so I can at least vouch for their Super NT. It is quality. And I'll check out their Sega Genesis system as well, just because the other one was very good. I don't know if you have the Super NT or looked at that, Max, or anybody else, but it's quality.
I did. That's the one that's like 150, right? It's like the premium one.
Yes, yeah, it does everything through hardware. It's not like it doesn't use emulation to play the cartridge that you pop in, and it runs through HDMI, so it has no lag apparently to it. When I'm playing it, it's very sharp. So I don't know if it's like zero completely, but it's very sharp. It doesn't feel like it's laggy or anything.
I'll probably buy the Genesis one. I have a Super Nintendo. I have a ton of Genesis games, tons. So I'll probably pick that one up.
Yeah, they moved that up. They moved it from, I think it was coming out next month. It's now coming out March 25th. So it's out in like a week and a half. But that's going to be cool. A lot of people are going to rush in and grab that. So it's good for them. The PolyMega, I followed that system last year and they went dark for a while. They just disappeared. And they're coming back. Apparently that's going to actually be a thing, but I need to see it because that's basically it's a system that is modular. So if you want like a Neo Geo CD attachment, you just literally attach it to the side of the system, and you buy them separately, I believe. So we'll see how that all works out. I need to see it to believe it, because I talked to some other people who are a bit more plugged into that whole thing and have created some of this stuff, and they don't even believe it. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see that one, to be honest. So we'll see about that. But it was a fun week so far in gaming. A lot of stuff happening. A lot of games coming out, and some fun stuff. What's everyone been up to, though? What's everyone been playing before we get into some of the topics?
Don't everyone speak at once.
I mean, Division, lots in Division, and I'm actually impressed by it. I think it's the first games as a service project that doesn't feel like a ripoff. It's the first one that I've gotten into where I see the idea behind it. I'm still not 100% on board, but I get it.
I'm enjoying it. I haven't played it as much as I know Evan. Evan is like in the end game right now. He's like almost, I mean, you finished the game, but Evan's like level 30 looking at all the end game stuff. I'm still rolling through. I think I'm like level 7 or 8 still. So I'm still rolling in the beginning,
wow.
but it's been fun so far. It's been fun. But Evan, what's your take on it? Because you've played a lot of it.
I mean, it is definitely a good game. There's a bit about it where they don't explain certain things, so it took me forever to figure out attaching certain things to my gear allowed me to get enhancements for my the actual deployables. They didn't really explain that well. But beyond that, the big thing is the end game and trying to make it super fun at like the high level. And once you beat the storyline missions, basically everything goes to hell and you're fighting extremely hard units and basically a giant war zone, and it feels great. So it's a solid game, definitely.
It's better than the first one then? Because Evan, you actually played the first one a lot. I didn't play it nearly as much as you. It
definitely feels more, or I guess, initial release complete. Because the first Division eventually added a bunch of stuff to it that I was like, wow, this would have been great had it been in day one or at least within the first month. But this one has enough in it where I feel like I'm going to have a ton to do for the next month or two probably in it.
It feels way different than Anthem, where Anthem came out and there's not a lot to do at the end. Like I beat Anthem and there's like, I didn't feel any reason. Whereas I'm not getting as far in Division 2 because there's like all these things to do in the world, like question marks everywhere. And I'm just wandering in like random directions. And I'm like, oh wait, I was supposed to be doing something for the actual main storyline. But I did run into a few disconnections when I'm playing. And right in the beginning, there was like one of the first missions you go on. I went all the way through. I was fighting the boss and it disconnected me, but I still kept all of my experience and I was a level higher than I should have been there at that point, which was weird. I don't know if anyone else ran into disconnection issues.
I had one hard crash. There's one super long mission, which I won't explain. It has a giant twist to it, but basically you're trying to break into a giant vault that's like a government vault. And it's a mission that takes like 35 minutes. It's super, super cool. Right at the very end, you have to like basically press X to help somebody onto a helicopter. And my game crashed, and it gave me the experience points. Like I finished the mission, so I gained a level and a half, but then it crashed, so I had to redo the 35-minute mission.
You're running those solo, right? You're just trying to get through them solo?
Well, I mean, with Q. No, I'm doing it with a team. But for most of the game, I actually played with 2-man teams.
And
scales.
Are you not able to get right back into that mission?
No. When it hard crashes, when I go back in, I'm back in the map, and typically I'm back at the White House, so I end up having to re-queue.
I did that same thing, but I still had all my experience, the items, and everything, and I just went back through again.
On PC so far, I've had 3 hard crashes, and every time I've rebooted, if I was running something with friends, I would just appear right there.
Oh my
god! So
I
would continue the fights.
I wonder. That's awesome. I kind of wish I had it on Steam because it's not like it comes up a lot. I'm playing on a PS4 Pro, but it's just one of those small things that the 2 times that happened, it was kind of just like,
Yeah, the first time it hit me, I thought, crap, because it was definitely at the end of a major mission. But then I get back in for the final fight, so it was just a good way to end it.
I'm having a good time with it. I'll play it some more this week, but once Friday happens, I'm on Sekiro pretty much. So I'll be off Division for a bit after that. But I heard the story. If you really focus on the main story, it's not super long. It's like 12 to 15 hours or something for Division 2.
I would say 20 or 25.
Yeah,
if you're trying to just bulldoze.
I've clocked 24 hours in it. Just did the final mission probably 2 hours ago.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, okay, it's about 20 hours. Yeah, so I bulldoze my way through it before Sekiro comes out on Friday. which that's gonna be really cool. I'm gonna be picking that up. I don't know, Evan, Max, or anybody else if you guys are all picking it up, but I'll be getting it and probably raging about it the whole time. So
Yeah, I'm trying to get it early. I'm trying to talk to some people to make sure I get it early because it looks
some people.
Yeah, because it sounds like they're not going to be giving out any review copies.
Nope. I talked to some people too, and they're like, "Nope, you can get it when it comes out. Basically, when everyone else has it, you can then get it." So we'll see. We'll see how that all goes down. But I'm at least excited to check it out and play it. That'd be fun. I'm not even a From Software guy. What were you saying, OJ?
Oh, sorry to cut. Sorry about that, man.
Oh,
I did watch a ton of Mortal Kombat 11. So got to see how the stress test that's going on right now. Got to see Scarlet and got to see Baraka and Scorpion, and the game just looks brutal. Oh my gosh.
OJ, I have an extra code. Do you want a code for the stress test?
Do you? I mean, would you?
Yeah.
You give me a code?
I got sent two. I got one on Xbox. I signed up twice just to make sure. So I got one on Xbox, one on PS4. I ended up using it on Xbox. I'll give you my PS4 code.
Yo, shout outs, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, dude, it's fun. You gotta play it.
I was just gonna watch. Because this game, it makes me squeam. I mean, if I'm playing it, maybe it wouldn't be as bad. When I watch it, it makes me squeamish. But then you get used to it after a while. Like after Baraka rips off somebody's face and chomps on their brain for like the 7th time, because I was watching Maximilian Dude play, I'm like, okay, I guess it's not too bad. But no, it looks great. I mean, I think that a lot of people out there that are excited for Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat coming back, you're going to be happy about it. The only thing that I'm kind of like looking at is like Mortal Kombat XL has like way more characters. It seems like it, That's the only thing I'm like, yo, they didn't bring back a lot of these characters. Are they going to sell them as DLC? Probably. So that'd probably be the only down thing that I see so far. Some of the mechanics have been changed up. I mean, but it's still the same. It's still the same Mortal Kombat that you know and love from like Mortal Kombat 10 and then Mortal Kombat XL. So I'm actually really excited to see the tournament play and kind of see more of the other characters. Scarlet looks really cool. She's a nice zoner. She has this weird type of tongue licking thing that she can do. That's pretty good.
She's my favorite by far.
Is that who you're using, Scarlet?
Yeah. So her different stances are crazy different. And my favorite one is called O negative. And it's the one where you use more blood weapons. And she has a like uppercut combo where you can grab people with this giant blood scythe. It's nuts, man.
Who are the characters available in the stress test?
Just those three: Baraka, Scorpion, and Scarlet. But the problem is, dude, 99% of people online are just playing Scorpion. So it's a little bit annoying because it's just a lot of matches are Scorpion versus Scorpion. So I made it a point when I was recording gameplay, I almost exclusively played as Baraka and Scarlet, and I fell in love with Scarlet.
No,
because Scorpion is like the OG, So everyone's like, oh, well, I'll just pick Scorpion, So Scarlet doesn't even look like Scarlet. I mean, how Scarlet looked before. I mean, she was like naked. She was like naked. Now she's actually like what you think when somebody goes into fight,
Apparently, they're gonna have it playable on the Switch at PAX East.
Yes, it will be there on the Switch at PAX. But the stress test is only for PS4 and Xbox One. Yes. No PC stress test, no Switch stress test.
So that's going to be the first time I think we see it on the Switch then. How's it run on the other systems right now, Max?
Great, I mean, 100%. So I've only played it, full disclosure, I've only played it on an Xbox One S, but it is easily the smoothest game I've seen in a long time.
That's the system I'd be the most. That system I'd be the most worried about out of the four, the Xbox One X, the PlayStation 4. It is that base Xbox One S. If you're saying it's running there okay, then okay.
Yeah,
interesting. All right.
Well, from what I understand, they're using a modified Unreal Engine 3 that's like something completely different at this point. They said it's so heavily customized from when they originally made like the base of the game. So I mean, Mortal Kombat XL ran the same thing. So I think they would just, polish things up a bit. They had time to work on it. It's not like they rushed this one out. They worked on Injustice and a couple other things, and bam, there you go. So I mean, I'm excited to see the tournament play because this game looks like it's going to be nuts.
Yeah, I think Nate said he's gonna get footage of it. I think at PAX East, hopefully. So that'll be cool. He's going there, so he's gonna grab some footage of all kinds of games. Told him to definitely get some footage of MK11. That'd be cool to see on the Switch.
I'm thinking of when the game comes out is playing as Garrus. Because that I retweeted out that new fatality, and OJ, you and I were talking about this the other day. That I think that they've reached the most brutal. Like that by far is the most brutal one I have seen yet and I just don't know how they keep topping themselves. Like, there's no way anyone who plays this game, unless you're live streaming, like, you can't monetize this game at all. This is the most violent game I have ever seen. I've never seen characters killed like this in a video game before ever. It's insane.
I think it's a combination of the brutalness, but then also the graphics. The graphics are extremely good in the game, so it kind of adds another layer. It's like they literally they went out there and hired somebody that has like anatomy and physiology, you know, like that has it down and like, okay, tell us exactly how to model this. Like everything looks, I mean, because like I'm a kinesiologist, well, I was a kinesiologist in college, and you know, I've seen all that stuff, and it looks exactly like it, like real life, like insides and organs and intestines and all this stuff.
I mean, when it's a fighting game like this, they don't have to focus on, you know, like an open world game and spend all the time assets. They can spend a lot of time making sure the details of the characters are really good.
Do you remember when they were making Dead Space, what they apparently did is they actually got, this is a horrible, like gruesome fact, but what they did is they found like surgery, like ER room photos of people who'd like survived car crashes and stuff and were super like injured. And they used that to design the monsters in Dead Space. Cause they're like, okay, we want this to look like monsters built out of human bones and flesh. And that's why the things that are so unnerving is because you look like, yeah, it's the Legos of us.
Oh yeah, I just took a look at that, Jordan, on your timeline on Twitter.
Yeah, like
you didn't see that beforehand, John?
No, wow.
Like holy crap, right? Like
that's creative.
It's extremely I've never seen that happen to a person, even in real life. So like I don't understand how that's. I don't know what Ed Boon and his team are on, man.
I wonder, well, if these are the fatalities that are like approved and fit within the mature rating, what do you think is like not being, because I bet you they really push the limits. They try to figure out what they can kind of just get in under the mature rating. I wonder what else they've done to some of these characters.
It's disgusting. Like I thought when we saw like Baraka like eating a head, right? Or eating a brain, I was like, okay, pretty messed up, not bad. Then you rip a person in half from their thumb tendon all the way up. That's going pretty far, I'd say.
My favorite so far is the Johnny Cage one where he just like uppercuts him and it says cut, and he like backs up and is like, come on, who hired this guy? And he keeps uppercutting him again and again until his head breaks off.
Yeah, that's the best one. That one's the best one so far.
It's funny.
Yeah,
it's funny, but I think it's the game makes no sense. That's another thing. Like the game, so I think that helps it, I guess, in some regards, get in that mature rating because it literally makes no sense. I mean, Johnny Cage uppercutting, then it's like multiple times, like it's not. They already know it's like not real. So I mean, like people getting shot in the eye through the eye, and then they're right back up. You know, so the game doesn't make sense at all. So I think that helps. You know, so yeah. I think it helps.
Still awesome though.
I did finish Devil May Cry on Monday. Nice. So that is done, Max. I enjoyed it. Still don't like V, but I don't like him. Nope. I definitely don't like him after the ending. So because I'd rather play as a different character than V.
I think that his role is interesting, but I agree. Yes, the other character would have been cool.
Apparently he's getting added as DLC. So there you go.
That makes sense. Yeah, and you also heard they're talking about, what is it, Lady? Is it Lady who's going to be DLC as well? That was leaked. The female assassins are going to be DLC. It looks like free DLC is the rumor or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's gonna be pretty cool as well. But yeah, I mean, I liked the game for what it was and everything. But I think I mostly just liked playing as Dante towards the end. I mean, he had the most choices about him, so it was good though. It was a fun game.
What did you smack people around with that motorcycle all day?
Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah, now I would use his rocket launchers, double barreled rocket launcher, which was great. You could charge it up towards the end too. Mm-hmm. So I used that. I'm definitely not going to go back through it over and over again and do all the. Apparently, there's a difficulty mode where if you get hit once, you die.
Yeah, that's hell. So there's hell, and then there's heaven and hell, and both of those are special modes where enemies die in one hit, or you die in one hit, or both.
Yeah. So I probably won't be doing that.
That doesn't sound very fun. I'll be honest. I mean,
it's not. It's one of those things where everybody in the Devil May Cry community agrees that it's for laughs. It's something you just unlock because it's awesome.
Yeah, but what's going in the platinum behind that?
I don't think so. I want to say that that's optional. I think you do have to beat it on Dante Must Die, but beyond that, you don't have to do anything.
Okay, all right. But yeah, that's great. Apparently, in this one, you can get hit 3 times. Like you have 3 revives, basically. But still, it sounded crazy when I heard that. I was like, oh, what? Who wants to do that?
Yeah, it's like when they turn off Witch Time in Bayonetta on the harder difficulties. Like that's not fun anymore. Even though it's, but it's like the whole point of it's like it's so cool Witch Time, you know. And then like, oh well, it's harder, but it's like not as fun in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. Oh, agreed.
Oh, Andy's back in the super chat 25 saying better late than never. Hi, Andy. Thanks for coming by again with the 25 in the super chat. Andy's been, I think you've done that like every week now. So thanks for coming by, Andy, and the support. Appreciate it. Thank you. And any other games you guys been playing? I spent a little more time in Metro, and then I started going back through Kingdom Hearts as well. So I'm almost to the end of Kingdom Hearts.
I'm just playing a bunch of Final Fantasy 14 still. I finally hit max level. I'm trying to prep for the next expansion. I want to do a huge video. The next expansion comes out in like a month and a half or 2 months, and I don't feel like any of the major YouTubers are paying attention to it, so I want to be the one guy to give it like proper time.
Cool. All right. Very good.
I've been really trying to train with Smash Ultimate, and I've been getting a lot of the different characters to Elite Smash. I want to get all of them. So I've got about maybe 20 to 30 characters. So I've just been playing a ton of Smash Brothers. Had a tournament today, or a little round robin today too. So it was fun. So yeah, I've just been playing a ton of Smash as well.
By the way, OJ, I went to a Smash tournament randomly on Thursday, and I just got destroyed. Like, I mean, everybody took turns destroying me, and the whole time I could tell that they weren't that good. These dudes were like mid-tier trash, and the whole time I kept being like, man, I wish my friend OJ would just walk in here and just mop all these.
I'd probably go there and dude. I got bought by like a 15-year-old in my local. I keep on getting third place. I keep on getting third place at my locals. It's because I don't know. I need to train a little bit more, but I mean, like, I'll probably go in there and get bopped too.
I had that where I beat a couple people, and this dude walked up with Snake and just played in a way I'd never seen. It was just like a little kid was putting landmines everywhere, and I was like, all right, screw it, I don't care.
Yeah, the C4. Then he's dropping the grenades, and then when you blow up the grenade, it enhances the hitbox of the C4, so you get hit because you don't think that you're like, oh, that didn't hit me. No, it did hit you because it extends the hitbox. Yeah,
we were doing it on Final Destination, so I couldn't hide anywhere. So it's just
yeah. Final Destination's good Snake level. Yeah, definitely good Snake level.
And I also played Turok on the Switch, which again, Nate's not here. He would have been good to talk to about this. He also played it. Sean's probably still asking for a review code still, I think, somewhere. He's probably yelling at his uncle about it right now. But yeah,
that was a very quick release from announcement.
Yes, it was. And what's interesting about it is in my video I did for it, I went through the options. There are a lot of options, like an obscene amount of options in this game for the Switch. Like they didn't just port it over from like the PC. They added like gyro controls and everything. There's a full cheat menu. So the original cheats for the 64 actually work in it. So if you know the cheat codes, you punch them in and boom, it's good. And they have built-in achievements for like the Switch and everything.
I think I have it memorized still. Is that Beware the Oblivion is at hand?
Yeah, I looked some up and I was like, let me try punching these in. Because I was like, because it just says cheat menu. I was like, let me see if the 64 ones work. They worked. I started punching them in. They all started popping up. Invincibility. They have everything. It was really cool. And the gyro controls and everything. You can choose between N64 sound or PC sound for like the music. And it ran well. It looked as well as you'd expect a 64 game to look that's like smoothed out and upscaled. But it's Turok. So if you like Turok, it's probably the best way you can play it at this point. And they have the dual stick controls, so you're not using like just the one N64 stick and like the C buttons. So way better. But I think it's $20. I'd say it's worth picking up though if you like Turok.
I'm definitely buying it. I grew up with that game. So it's easier. Even if I never make a video, I just want to play it, man.
Yeah. If that's the case, yeah, it's worth playing through. It's fun. I was having a good time with it. So it was pretty cool. I think that's everything I played then. I'm just going to keep working through Division 2. Anything else, you guys, before we move on to some of the topics we got here?
Just before Division dropped, I picked up a game called Truberbrook. It's a point-and-click adventure game. It had a pretty interesting style to it, but story-wise, it's pretty dry, and they don't do what's supposed to happen in point-and-click adventure games. It's all just almost random what works and what doesn't. So
is that on was that on Steam?
It's on Steam. It's coming to Switch soon. But it was pretty cool because as a game, they actually built all the sets in it. It's almost built like a stop motion film, and then they scanned it completely and then turned it into the game. So you just have these really beautiful handmade places that you go and do all these crazy things in. But the way it was written, the way it was paced, it seemed a little off. So
okay, yeah, all those indie games go to the Switch eventually, it seems.
Yep.
If it works, it works. So let me move over here to a couple of topics. So you guys know that Google is holding a GDC event on Tuesday. I believe it's at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And they have not specifically said what's going to be there, but they have said that it's going to be the future of gaming, which is a funny way to say that, I guess. But the future of gaming. So there's a lot of rumors about what it could be. There are people thinking it could be a console, it could just be their streaming service. Although we've used their streaming service. I used Project Stream with Assassin's Creed. Began this year, the end of last year.
End of last year.
Yeah, and it was all right. It worked fine. Seemed okay. But now we're going into this, and it seems weird because they're hiring people that have worked in the game industry for a while. And it seems like we have a patent for a controller that they've obviously been thinking about. The rendering was made by an artist, so it's not like a rendering from them. So if it looks terrible, it's because somebody else was thinking about it and tried to make it. But now we look forward. Are we looking at a streaming service? We're looking at console, or are we looking at both?
I think it's going to be both, but I think they're going to walk out on stage with a console. Honestly, it's coming out on stage and announcing a service doesn't go over as well to say, like, here's our box, here's the price tag.
Yeah, I'm pretty adamant on. I was saying this with OJ the other day. I'm pretty adamant that if this is as big as they're hyping it up, and a lot of people are on board, I think that this is a way where they can kind of bridge this unique gap with digital and physical, to not only have a device that can plug into your TV and be a console and have streaming services on it as well and do all that, but something that, let's say you have a really nice computer anyway, but you want access to the service, you can play like games that would only be on the console on your computer and have it that way. Or if your computer can't handle stuff like that, they sell a different device or a smaller device that plugs into your computer that allows it to be able to do stuff like that in conjunction with the streaming service, and really creates this unity we haven't seen before, where this can be kind of played anywhere and on anything, no matter what you have or how you want to do it. I think that's kind of, if it's Google, I feel like that if they're going to go big, that's something revolutionary. And I think if anyone's going to do it, they have the money to back it up.
Yeah. They definitely have the money. We'll say that they can do it. They have the money, they have the influence, they have the control.
Yeah, they could flop at this and spend a lot of money. It's going to be nothing to them. So
and the big thing that we all got to kind of point out here is the fact that Google is smart, because Google isn't making these decisions on their own. The first thing they've been doing, which is over the course of the last 3 years, is they've been hiring some of the biggest and most experienced names in gaming already. They're getting like the professionals who have clout to basically help them make decisions. This isn't like some random stupid freaking cell phone company. This is Google doing it right.
So are you telling me that it's not going to be the Apple Pippin 2?
It is. Man, people in chat keep saying, ooh, yeah, too. And honestly, that is something I've seen a lot of people saying. I do worry a little bit about that. I do worry a little bit that this is going to be a lot of bluster and not a lot of follow-through.
I think there's a lot of hesitance. You're right, the follow-through, because Google will just drop devices and services if it doesn't work instantly.
Google Glass. Somebody calculate, like, Google Glass from the time they announced it to the time they like canceled development was like 18 months or something.
Yeah, so it's always concerning with Google because they seem to move on pretty quick, or just kind of their attention's all over the place. So I would like to think they're going to show up and just actually, do it, but you're right, they might get bored.
I mean, the thing that really has me interested is the backup behind it.
Yeah,
like the companies that are backing this, that are going to be there, that are hyping this up. Sega, what Crystal Dynamics, like stuff like that. Like they're hyping something up. I'm not thinking there's exclusives or anything. There might be, but if they're coming out and backing this or working in any way, that's a big endorsement off the bat.
Well, here's what you're referring to. We have they talked about Crystal Dynamics. They talked about Amy Hennig is going to be there. They talked about id Software. So they had a big picture of, Doom and everything. Ubisoft, who we kind of already figured, because they're part of Project Stream already. They let them use Assassin's Creed Odyssey for Project Stream. Basically, they gave everybody who also participated in that, they gave you Assassin's Creed Odyssey for free. Like they gave it to me on PC for free. because I tried it. And
apparently your save file actually comes with it as well. It's all cloud saved in.
Yeah. So they basically just gave it to you. They sent me a code. They're like, go activate it on your Ubisoft account or Uplay account. So they're pretty invested in that. And something that I've heard that we talked about on the channel was Sega doing some work with Google for this platform, streaming or box.
There's also another thing is that Jade Raymond got hired as a VP for Google as well with gaming. So
yes,
she's been in the gaming industry for a long time. You know, she's Assassin's Creed. She's done a lot of cool stuff. So to see her get hired, I mean, they're definitely serious about something. You know, it's
yep. And I talked, and I thought Max, you'd get a kick out of it too. I was talking to some people about it. Liam's been very good with information and research and everything on it, but they're working with Sega on some different IPs and revivals and stuff. Jet Set Radio was discussed, even Crazy Taxi.
I'm excited for Jet Set because so many of the people that are involved with Jet Set have been wanting to do a sequel again forever. I think technically the last thing they ever did was Jet Set Radio Future on the Game Boy Advanced. But yeah, man, I want to see Jet Set again. I also really want to see Crazy Taxi.
Dude, Crazy Taxi all day.
Yeah. I would honestly buy a system if they have either Jet Set or Crazy Taxi there. I would have to.
What I'm hoping for is a like Crazy Taxi collection and a Crazy Taxi 3 and just package it all together and just call it like Crazy 3.
I mean, if they really do get Sega involved with something, but they could also do some third-party stuff. Like I bet you id Software is there to. I think a big announcement would be if they show up and they say on Project Stream or whatever their console is, Doom Eternal will be there day one.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a pretty big announcement. That'd be a pretty big announcement.
Huge. And I just to really kind of nail that home, that like to people in chat who does understand that it is the type of people of once they start working with you, it means that they understand your console and they respect it. So if they start out with Doom Eternal on there, oh man, that is a big deal.
I'm also curious if they didn't say anything about this, but Google did put out there about Amy Hennig, they pretty much put her in the spotlight on Twitter and everything, and their game developers and everything. I wonder if there's a possibility that she's actually working in collaboration with one of their studios that Google is putting together. Like that would be interesting because she's pretty much said at this point that like you can't really pitch this kind of stuff like their Uncharted type stuff to EA anymore. But maybe Google's like, well, we don't really care as much about live services right this second as we do of trying to find a killer IP. I mean, you get talent like that on board, you know, and you make a game like an Uncharted type game, you probably get some people in there.
Oh yeah.
So that's the biggest thing. That's the thing you gotta wonder. Google technically can build a box. Anyone can build a box. We saw that with Steam Machine, right? But you got to be able to put a game out that makes people want to buy it.
Well, and gets people excited. That's the hard thing that I feel like PSVR is having a lot of trouble of. It's really hard to get excited about VR because there isn't a thing that's just so 100% must have yet. But if you come in on stage and say, okay, we've got Ubisoft here, it's hyped, but also check it out. It's that Super Sonic Adventure 3 you've always wanted. Like people would lose it.
Yeah, they'd have to go back and get something really big that people forgot about, or that it would be a big enough franchise to get people on board. They just have to introduce something that gets people excited enough to pre-order. Because if someone's excited enough to pre-order, then they're probably gonna buy in at least day one. So that's gonna be that's tough. And the other question is, can another company actually enter the what feels kind of crowded right now console space? With three systems, can they do it?
I think they can. I mean, I still think the biggest thing is everybody is wanting that next big thing, and seeing how PlayStation 4 managed to take over after the Xbox 360 dominated. I think it shows that as long as you jump in at a console changeover, basically anybody can sort of make their own space.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to what they can do with. I mean, they definitely have the money to try it, you know, and see if it works. Like Sony can't afford to have their PlayStation really fall off a cliff and do terrible, right? So I mean, Google can just throw it out there and be like, here's a box, let's see what happens. So I mean, those are all the people they've told us about. There's a chance they have some surprises and stuff. GDC is Tuesday, and if they show up with a streaming service, I think people will be pretty disappointed. But if they have some kind of console that's not just a streaming box, I think people will at least be interested enough to get kind of excited. So,
okay, let's be honest here. How mad would all of you be if they came out on stage and started announcing this Google console and they said that it was being done in partnership with Soulja Boy and he walked out on stage? It would play only Soulja games.
Oh man! So it's going to play all the Nintendo games then.
pretty good console then, right?
Yeah, right. We're good.
Not bad.
He's got the licenses though. It's okay.
Yeah, he made Reggie retire. Don't forget.
Yeah, he did make Reggie retire. That'd actually be pretty exciting. I'd like to see how it would work.
Oh man, that's gonna be great. I am interested in Google's service because we've already seen some stuff from Microsoft xCloud, and if Google shows up with their own streaming service, then some competition with streaming services stuff. The good news is you'll definitely be able to play a lot of these games on your phone, most likely by like next year between Microsoft and Google and maybe even Amazon. So there you go. Interesting stuff nonetheless, but I don't know. I feel like we're pretty far off from streaming as mainstream anyway, so we'll see. Did anyone see Inside Xbox?
I did. I watched it on Mixer. That was interesting.
Did you watch it on your Xbox? Like actually on your Xbox?
I watched it. I wanted to get all of it. I watched it on my Xbox One X in 4K here and on Mixer. I wanted to get all of it in.
So I watched Inside Xbox and I was kind of confused when I watched it because it was barely about the Xbox, but it was Inside Xbox. Halo Master Chief Collection is coming to PC. That was their big. That seemed to be their big announcement.
That was the big announcement.
So Master Chief Collection is coming to PC. That's gonna be pretty cool, actually. That's gonna be neat. I like Evan. You'll finally get to play Halo.
We'll see how long I keep playing it. It'll be fine.
Finally get to play Halo. It's a good game. People should play it. But the Master Chief Collection is going to apparently be sold in sections. They're going to start with Reach and then go, I guess, in chronological order. So Reach 1, 2, 3, 4. And I guess ODST is going to get thrown in there somewhere. So they'll figure all that out. But
Reach
is good. I'm excited for Reach. Reach is good.
Yeah.
I like the story in Reach. There was a good book that was put out around it as well. It's definitely a campaign to play through. If you have the Master Chief Collection already, the multiplayer will just be added in, and you have to buy the campaign separately. But if you have Game Pass, you just get everything anyway. But the other question is, Evan, which one do you buy if you only buy one? Because you don't know anything about Halo. From what you've heard, what would you buy out of the 5 of them?
I mean, I guess whichever. If it's a pick one situation, it would be one. Because I don't really care about the story. I don't like.
There you go. Okay.
I've seen them both. Also, like which one has the multiplayer that everyone's playing would basically be the one I go for.
Okay. Usually people like either 2 or 3.
Yeah, two or three are considered the most balanced, but personally, I still love one the most, man.
Go with 3. Go 3. I was playing 3 I was playing 3 yesterday, actually. Ever since they announced for PC, I've been playing Halo every night. So I like the Master Collection a lot.
I'm just glad they're putting Firefight in as well for Reach, because that's something that I like a lot. As Firefight, I was talking with you about that last week, that I actually like Firefight. So I'm glad that that's going to be in there, because that's something I'll probably be hopping on a lot.
Firefight's good, man. The thing is that when I play Halo, I play Halo to wipe out other people. So I do team deathmatch all the time.
I feel you.
It's just fun. But the cool thing about the Master Chief Collection, if you've never played, they have it so you can pick which games. If you have all the games, or if you just bought the Master Chief Collection to start, you can choose any one of the games. So like Halo 1 through 4 or whatever, and it'll automatically randomize them and then also grab different playlists. So you might be playing Halo 3 and Capture the Flag one match, and then the following match, Halo 1 with Team Slayer and everything. So that's the cool thing about Master Chief Collection. So
yep, and I played a lot of it.
Yep. When it first came out, it was super broken too. So it was pretty bad. But I'm excited for it, and I'm gonna be curious because they're putting it on Steam. Did anyone else think that was weird that they're putting it on Steam as well?
That's extra weird, but it's good that they're coming to terms with the fact that the Windows store is horrible.
I think it's a smart move, putting it on something that is going to have the biggest reach immediately. No pun intended, but I think it's the biggest reach for them, and they're going to get the most eyes on it, and it will have all the Steam support, and I think everyone will be happy.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to sell a lot on Steam, but it was like that would help to pull people to your Windows store. It's because, all right, so do you think Halo Infinite will be on Steam?
I would say a year or two after launch.
Okay.
I think we're at a point where Microsoft realizes that the only way they're going to make their game studios profitable is to just put out everything everywhere. Like, I would not be shocked if we do see a Halo game on Switch in the next 3 years. 100% serious, just because they need to sell stuff.
I mean, if they do like Game Pass and they stream it anyway, make it easy.
I personally think that Halo Infinite might come to Steam like near the launch of it or at the launch, just because that seems like it's just so much money. I mean, nobody goes to that Microsoft store anymore, and obviously Xbox One, you have that. But if it was out on Steam, Xbox One, and the Microsoft Store day one, imagine the type of, I mean, that's like maybe like 10 million plus. If the game is really good, like 10 million plus in the first month, maybe a little bit more. I mean, it could do back to where it needs to do, right? Because like Halo 5 didn't really sell as much as it should have. Or maybe is the franchise has done before. I know some people hate Halo 5, but I'm thinking like if they put it out on everything, like imagine it can get back to where like, you know, the sales of like the original one. So
yeah, Halo 5's average, I would say. When I played it, I said, it's not bad, it's not great, it's like in the middle.
A lot lower than that.
Imagine it being on Steam and being on every. Like, I think it could do so well, man. If they did it.
The biggest thing is I'm so curious if they put something like Halo 5 on Steam, people would put out the most interesting mods. People would be reworking the guns. They'd be having fan patches to make the guns balanced in the way they like.
Can they fix the campaign?
Actually, I think that's called unsavable.
I mean, dude, people are still playing Counter-Strike like crazy, you know? I remember Counter-Strike when Steam and like everything Valve like was first coming out with like Half-Life. It was like a mod back then. And people still play, you know, Counter-Strike now. So it's if it latches on Steam, it'll be around for a long time. So it's cool to see that anyway, Halo come back, because I used to play Halo on the PC when it came out back in the day. Went through like GameSpy servers and stuff, and
with the flamethrower.
Yeah, with the flamethrower, and that was the first time we could actually get in a Banshee and fly around.
But it looked weird. They tried to put the weird like alien text on the screen.
Yeah, but I liked it there. I played it a lot. They actually have, and it's crazy. I don't think they've done anything with them. There were, I think, 4 maps that were specific to PC, and I've never seen them do anything with them outside of that. I think they're just still in that PC version. One was like a full level where it was like a big forest you were in.
Yep. But remember how broken that was, though? Because remember, everybody was trying to fight to get up to that high plateau where the sniper rifles spawned, and basically whoever got up there won. And that was that's why I think they never released them again, is they were just rushed maps.
Yeah, but I mean, they could go back and redo them and name it something else and bring it up. But I mean, they've kind of just stayed there since then. So, then we had Project xCloud get shown off. And this was confusing. I don't know if you guys saw a lot of the talk around this, but they showed off Forza, which probably wasn't the best game to show, I guess, because it's going to look the best on a phone, technically with a camera, because it's Forza. But they showed it, and there was controversy about it being faked or real. It seems that people actually tested it on their end and tried to get the same movements with the controller, and apparently it actually looks very similar to that. So
yeah, I saw the lady who did it came out with a statement being like, why, like, she's like, they filmed me playing it for like an hour and it works that good. She's like, why would they used clips of me crashing and stuff? Like, if it was just fake footage, we would have had like a professional racer on a track. So I fully believe her.
Yeah, so it looks like that is at least working at this point, but originally it was supposed to be tested early 2019, and now it sounds like we're falling into late 2019 for that testing. So I'm not sure if there is an issue there or what, but I guess they're just still chucking along with that, and I don't know. I guess we'll get it sometime later on, just for a beta or something. Maybe they'll launch it in 2020. Depends on when Google launches their streaming service. It's kind of a race to streaming now. But after that, we had some State of Decay 2 stuff that I don't really know if people are still playing State of Decay 2.
I've heard some people. I mean, it's probably 1,000 people a day.
Okay, sure, why not?
Oh, that seems like a lot, but
I didn't think people were still playing. I don't know. I think people were still playing that game. I thought most people moved on with all the bigger games out right now. But they're doing like an update for that and everything. Minecraft is going to Game Pass. There's a new controller. How many? I asked this on Twitter. Does anyone know how many controllers there are for Xbox now?
Well, with the lab, there's like 1,000, right?
I mean,
you can do the thing.
But like ones that they've officially released and named, like they just did this one, that one. What was the last one they just did with the white, and then it kind of goes translucent towards the middle.
There's that. Yeah, there's that. There's the PUBG one. That's the super limited edition. Grease-proof one. I think there's like dinners.
I think there's like 100 controllers on that system.
Yeah, I want that all red one that just came out.
Oh yeah, I thought about getting a customized purple one, and I believe you can get your name on there. I've thought about making like an official Dreamcast guy one and all purple, since I love purple.
Like I got the Elite controller recently. I'm like, man, there's so many controllers. I'm sure there are people that collect them, much like people collect like Joy-Con controllers on the Switch. But I just feel like every time we see them in Inside Xbox, they're showing us a new controller.
Yeah, they're like, also this color combination.
It's so funny. But that was pretty much, I think that was it for Inside Xbox. And I looked at it and I said, man, there really wasn't a lot for actual Xbox owners there. It was all like PC stuff, and that's kind of it, which was it was very odd that their big announcement was a PC game or an Xbox game going to PC, which I mean, that was there now. That was the big thing, right?
I just reminds me of Kid Smooth throwing a fit on Twitter.
Oh yeah,
it was funny, but at the same time, I couldn't help but just sit back.
He's losing it lately. Well, which time?
This just recently, this time, because he was just so mad about not to make it about him, but yeah, it was just what John's saying, like with the whole Xbox, you know, there's not much coming to it. I think people you just got to be patient. I mean, it's like, remember like when like the Wii was on its way out and there was like almost nothing. We just got like Zelda that last year in 2011. It's on its way out. Same thing with the Wii U. They released like Twilight Princess, they released like Pokken, and then after that there was like nothing. I think that's kind of what's going down with the Xbox right now. Just got to be patient, wait for the next generation.
I did see a screenshot where Kid Smooth said the day that they cancel Xbox and they stop announcing new Xbox stuff is the day I quit gaming. I will never play stuff on a PC. And it was like, ooh, but not a good time to be a Microsoft fan then, because they make something called computers.
Well, it's interesting because it's more about really not the console, more about just the brand at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like they're probably gonna, I don't know if they've already done it with Windows Store yet, but they're probably gonna eventually bring the Xbox logo to the Windows Store, and it'll be Xbox something or something. Like they'll probably just move the brand everywhere, and then the box will have less importance to Microsoft at this point. So
they probably just have to figure out how to combine it. There's like 3 apps on PC that manages all of that. So if they can just combine it into the Xbox one, it would probably just work out.
Well, here's my question. Okay, and this is something that is really weird the more I think about it. The Xbox Live is on iOS and Android because they just announced that this week as well. It's coming to iOS and Android. It's also on the Switch with Minecraft, and let's be real, it's probably going to continue coming to the Switch with all kinds of other stuff. It's on Windows and it's on Xbox, but they only charge Xbox people for Xbox Live.
Right.
Like I pay for Xbox Live, and I think about it, I'm like, when Halo comes to PC, and let's say you buy it, Evan, you're not paying to play online. You're just playing online.
It's probably the main reason I would play it in front of you.
Yeah, say that's what I mean there. It's very interesting to see that, and I think that's the only reason they're going to continue selling consoles, because they charge the console gamers for Xbox Live, and that's a lot of money that they make. So like, why would they stop doing that? But then they also take the games and put them everywhere. So it's a very weird thing to see.
It is. I think it's just that I honestly think it's just part of Xbox division. Like to prove their usefulness, they still want to keep a box. That's my personal theory. Is they're keeping the Xbox even if there ends up being no Xbox exclusive games.
I think they need to move Game Pass into Xbox Live, but I don't think they want to do that either, because people are still paying for it, so they're making money from that too. Because eventually, I feel like there's gonna be a breaking point eventually. Like if everybody has the same games and only one section of people is paying to play online for hardware that's not as good as PC gamers, it seems weird. Do they eventually go? They can't go backwards either. They can't make it free because they're making money off of everyone. They can't. They pioneered the ability to charge people for online, so maybe they could. Maybe they go back and say, "Oh, you guys don't have to pay for online, but if you want Game Pass, you got to pay for that, of course." I don't know. Maybe they could set a new standard. They could be the ones that don't charge for online. What's interesting about them is that Microsoft is the one that charges for free to play games, right?
They do.
Yeah.
Well, it's behind a paywall. You gotta.
Like Fortnite, you gotta pay for.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's because it bounces off their servers first anyway.
Like, no, I mean, you even gotta pay for like Devil May Cry. Like, if you want to do like the passive stuff in Devil May Cry, you gotta pay for that.
But the weird thing about that, the weird thing about Evan is Sony and Nintendo don't. So like, you can just play Fortnite without having to pay.
No, I know, but I thought with Sony and Nintendo, it wouldn't pass through their own personal servers. It just went directly to the Epic ones first, whereas Microsoft almost forces you to have to go through their stuff.
It's interesting, but I think with Microsoft's strategy though is they don't care as much about the console sales as the game sales, I guess, going forward. But they don't even sell that many games on their consoles now, probably because there's just not as many consoles out there as Sony, and Nintendo is going to pass them soon.
Yeah, a lot of people are pointing to them as the next Sega, kind of no console but IP.
I think Microsoft is probably flirting more or less with being the next third party, but still producing a system, I guess. It's a weird thing because they do want to reach the most gamers by putting their stuff everywhere, but then they also want to have a system at the same time. It's very interesting. Like if this was Sega, they probably would have just left because they don't have the money that Microsoft has. I think because Microsoft has so much money, they're just going to say, we'll keep R&Ding a system. That's fine. But if they get to a point where they're only selling 5 million systems, like, do they keep making it?
No, but I'm kind of curious. We've never really seen this before. I can't even think of I'm trying to ponder like a cell phone company that started out making programs and a phone and then slowly trickled off the phone. I guess kind of the Windows Phone might be an analogy. Windows Phone had like its own iOS, and that kind of transferred over to Windows 10. I don't really know.
It's an interesting situation because now it comes down to because we heard Nintendo, and we heard Sony. I think Sean Layton talked about it, and we heard Furukawa talk about it as well, right? Where they mentioned that there may be sometime in the distant future where like you don't need consoles to play games anymore. I feel like they were talking more about streaming than anything else, both of them, like a just in case situation where if we don't need a console, then we gotta we have to actually adapt to that. Maybe we look back 25 years from now and we say, wow, Microsoft was really ahead of their time and they figured it out. I don't know. It's definitely weird right now for Microsoft. It's a little sketchy. It's a little shaky. But next gen starts, we assume, next year. So we'll see what they launch with. And that's going to be it. We'll say at that point.
This is off topic, but real quick, did y'all see or hear about there's like a leaked patent? It sounds like PSVR 2 may have been leaked, and it looks like it's going to be basically a slightly better headset and wireless.
Yeah, that was actually, we're going to move into that actually next anyway, so that actually works out.
Okay, good. Yeah. I'm excited for that, man. I'm excited for that.
Let me go through some of the super chats, and then we'll lead into that. And we also got to get into the ratings for Castlevania on the rating that took place. It appears to be a Castlevania collection. I wanted Nate to be here because he was the one who was talking about the Castlevania rumors. Like, what was that, OJ? Like a year and a half ago or something for a Switch one?
Yeah. It's been a while.
It's so long. Let me go through these real quick. Kurt with a $1 and no message. Thank you, Kurt. We had David earlier with the thoughts on the Mega SG. Wishbone said, what if Sega lends Google their name for console at GDC? So that was funny because there was one point in time where I was talking to some people, not just Liam, about it, and some people really seem to think that Sega was like super involved with this thing. I don't think they necessarily would be, but Liam shared. Did you guys see the boot up sequence that Liam shared on his Twitter page?
Yeah, it's the one that just says
That's okay. So that's a boot sequence from a dev kit, is what that is. And I looked at it and I told him, I was like, that thing looks like a fan art thing. It looks like somebody's like, oh, Sega, here's like something that looks like a Dreamcast startup with like the but he's saying it was, and I'm like, all right, that's fine. So it's possible that that's part of the startup, or that's one they were playing around with, in the beginning. But yeah, I saw it and I was like, I don't know if Sega would show up and let them use their name or anything, but
If they just got to call it, if they call it the Google Streamcast, everything's fine. We're good.
You never know. You never know. They've surprised. We could be a surprise there. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll be streaming it though. Just check it out because I'm at least interested at what they could be doing. Lycon says you didn't cut off the start. I assume that's the beginning of the podcast. Ethan says Mass Effect or Zelda in story.
That's pretty easy, unless you're talking about Andromeda. That story's crap, but the story in the main trilogy, like, better than any like story in Zelda, in my opinion.
Oh, for Mass Effect?
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about. I had a sponsored Zelda stream last night, and my chat almost revolted on me when I was like, "Oh, Zelda stories are meh." I'm like, I like Mass Effect story better. They're like, "Ah!" They like nuts. So maybe that was towards that.
Oh, I see. Okay. I mean, the Mass Effect story is very, very good. If you go back to the trilogy, if you've never played Mass Effect and you play the trilogy, you got to go back and play them.
I'm just saying, there's never been a feeling like that. Suicide, like I thought that was like real life, man. Like it got that close. Like my thought process, I've never been that stressed when it comes to story wise in a Zelda game ever. You just let the story come to you. Mass Effect, you were like shaping the story.
Oh yeah.
It's not the same thing. Like people don't realize like
that second game.
Yeah, that second game, that last mission,
dude.
All the stuff that ties into it, like their side stories that tie in. That's part of the story that you just don't get that in Zelda. Everything's predetermined. It's done. Whenever you come across it, you come across it. Mass Effect, you shape it, and you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
like
that should be a franchise that what is it? EA treats like Capcom treats Resident Evil games, or they just port it to every new system. It's like, oh, the trilogy, it's on this system now.
They should put that trilogy over because that's all I want to play. Like, if you're not going to do anything relevant with Mass Effect for a while, and you're going to leave us with Andromeda, at least give us the trilogy.
Oh, yeah, they should be putting that out. It should be on the Switch. It should be on everything.
There must be some legal reason. I mean, that's the only. I mean, it's free money. Why not put it on everything?
Yeah.
They should be. Like, it should be on this streaming service. It should be everywhere at this point.
Also controversial. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of just games that only have text and you read it, basically, and sometimes the characters make a sound like, oh, like that's not my favorite. Like, I always think of like handheld games do that, and that's fine. Like if I'm playing like Pokemon on my DS or whatever, or when the new Pokemon comes out, fine, whatever. But like if I'm playing a big RPG with a lot of story and a lot of stuff coming at you, when you have Mass Effect where the characters have really good acting and you can directly dynamically change how the course of the conversations go, and you feel a part of it, as like a Zelda game where it's just quiet and it's just music and you figure it out, which is a different experience. It's just not for me as much as like getting into the world as like Mass Effect could do.
See, Chad gets it. He says EA should port Mass Effect like Capcom ports Resident Evil 4. That is absolutely right.
Or Skyrim. I always think of Skyrim. Just slap it on everything, change it up occasionally, redo the graphics if you got to, but just slap it on everything.
Yeah, let's get it on the what is it, the Alexa, Amazon Alexa. Let's get it on there too.
Yeah. Man. I still think one of the craziest things I've ever seen in gaming was my buddy who maxed out his speaking skills in Mass Effect 1 and talked the last boss into killing himself. That was the craziest thing you could. That's crazy. You can do that.
Yeah.
I do think that with Zelda, I think the lore is a lot more interesting than the actual like when you're playing through the story. But the lore is amazing. Like the timeline. Yeah. I love all that stuff. That stuff's great. But just.
Absolutely. And I'm not hating on like Zelda or any games that are like that at all, but that's just a personal preference of mine when it comes to story-based stuff and how I get into it. But with Zelda, the lore is 100% better.
Okay. Andy Ackerman, of course, saying better late than never. Then we had Joe says, so Sony allows Mortal Kombat 11 brutality, but not a girl's bum. He's talking about the censorship in Devil May Cry 5.
Butts are scary, man. You ever seen that? I'd rather see a person's face get ripped off.
That's weird because I did play through when I played through the Xbox version. That part was not censored on the Xbox, but earlier in the game, there absolutely was a part that was censored with like a light beam. And I don't really know why that Capcom seemed to patch it specifically on the US version of the PS4 Devil May Cry 5. I don't know why. It's very weird.
I think that's just a Sony thing.
You think it's so? I don't know who it is. Like I feel like it should be Sony, but you know, I mean, you never know. I mean, it's a weird patch if it's Capcom.
Sony censored a lot of stuff in the past.
Yeah,
so
that's the only reason I have to. I think that's the only reason we're all leaning towards Sony is because they have censor stuff already. It makes no sense that Capcom would be like, wait a minute, we gotta censor the US version now. It's weird. Day one that patch went through, actually. I don't know. And it is funny because I just looked at that fatality you posted on your Twitter.
That's some messed up stuff, man.
So that's allowed on there, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine.
So it said, what if a person's face gets ripped off and it reveals a butt?
Uh-oh. Now that's an AO rating right there.
It needs to be censored. Unfortunately, the butt is too far.
That light beam over it, man. Oh, man. Chad Sarant said Google will need some incredible games to pull market share away. Remember NEC's Turbo Graphics? I do remember. Actually, I have one over there for a Tech Wave in the future, but I do remember it, and it got ran over by like everything around it, Super Nintendo and everything. So, despite it actually being a pretty solid system, if you actually look at it, yeah, they're gonna need some good games though, absolutely. But I mean, the Xbox right now is cruising on, well, cruising, but at least relevant with third-party support as the most powerful system. So there's that, I guess. Kuro Tengetsu says there's more controllers than there are games. I think it's for the Xbox One. That is a joke I hear a lot. They seem to have more exclusive controllers than games. Yami Industries says Xbox needs to add personal custom logos to D-Lab. That's what you're talking about, right, Max? The design lab?
Right. Yeah, I thought that was in there already. If not, then maybe I was looking at one of those third-party websites. There are websites that are called like buildacontroller.com and all that, and you can do it for I'm not sure Switch is on there yet, but I do know that PS4 is on there and stuff. You can get it where they'll actually laser stencil in whatever name you want.
So that's pretty cool. I like the idea of design lab. Like that's something that like I think all of the companies should pick up. Sony and Nintendo. I mean, people would go nuts doing that with Joy-Cons. Oh man,
I really like the custom works that like companies will like. You know, companies like I think it was a Controller Chaos or stuff like that make their own versions. And I've talked to a couple of them looking at like getting Spyro ones done and stuff like that because there's some incredible stuff. They do Joy-Cons, they do retro console stuff. It's really cool. I really like that.
I've tried it. Controller Chaos like a year or two ago did a big mock-up for a Shenmue PS4 controller that was going to have the two Phoenix mirrors. They ended up not making it. It drives me crazy. I want a Shenmue PS4 controller.
Oh,
Get
man.
in contact with them. Let them know.
Right? I'll tell them. I'll be like, look, I got money.
Yeah.
Make this happen.
Oh, man. I would want to see that, Max. If you get one of those, you should make a video on it.
I will. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
I just got my Dreamcast record. I'll make a big video of my whole Shenmue collection.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
You have to do that video with cosplay.
Yeah,
I will. Yeah, I do. I still have my Shenmue costume.
Chris says, I believe Microsoft will keep a system for backwards compatibility and people who want home consoles, but put their games everywhere so you can play anywhere they want to, basically. So that's actually a good point. Backwards compatibility is probably what's going to keep a disk drive in the Xbox going into at least next generation, maybe the next one. Or if they ever take it out, they'll sell it separately as like an add-on that you buy. Remember we had that HD DVD drive that you got for the 360?
Yeah, and HD DVDs died out quick because Blu-ray won.
Yep, something like that. So you buy like a separate thing and you plug it in, and then all of a sudden all of your Xbox 360, your Xbox One, and your original Xbox discs work. But I think they'll eventually roll all of that into Game Pass, so it's like all digital stuff. I'm curious. I think Microsoft's gonna be the first one that gets on that bandwagon, that all digital bandwagon, which is funny because they're the ones pushing backwards compatibility forward.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be weird, man, when all that happens. But I think we're safe for next gen. I think it's gonna be the following generation. So like 8 years from now, I think is when we're gonna go all digital for the systems.
Yikes.
The mid-gen refresh. The mid-gen refresh might be all digital 4 years from now.
It's so weird to think about. I believe you, but it still sounds so weird.
I mean, we're at like a 50-50 split now for EA, right? So we're close already. Like we're getting there. I think even Ubisoft said they're 60-40 in favor of digital right now.
Well, I mean, when you buy the Division 2, the disc, and put it into your console, it installs a 100 gigabyte pack. That's real, man.
Yeah, that's really funny. It's so okay. So did you get it on the? Do you have it on the Xbox or the PS4, Max?
I have it on PS4.
You got a digitally, right?
Yeah, they sent me a code. So it was an 89 gigabyte download, and I heard that it's the same thing. If you got the game on disc, it was the same size.
So what it is, so I did a little looking up on this. What it is if you buy it physically, the PS4, the way the PS4 works with patches, which is really weird, they need the extra space to unpack the thing that just downloaded. So it was still a 50 gigabyte download, which is still crazy because I mean, that's what should be on the disc. But it needs the extra space to then unpack that 50 gigabytes into another like 40 or 50 gigabyte container next to it. So it tells you need like 90 to 100 gigabytes free on your system. So it's like, man.
I get it, but man, yeah, that is weird.
I think we're almost there because remember when we bought Black Ops 4, we put the disc in, it then downloaded almost 50 gigabytes anyway, and the game was like 50 gigabytes total when it was done installing. So we're like almost there already, man. They're selling discs just to have something on the shelf, I think, at this point.
Red Dead was the only one who was like, we'll just give you 2 discs.
I mean, I gotta give them credit.
Yeah.
They did. They gave us 2 discs. It was like it took me like an hour to install the thing.
They're the first ones to push that forward. I mean, they could allot that money to afford the second disc because they knew how much money they were going to make. They're like, you know what? We'll add that little quality in there because it'll cost us this much, but we're going to make a hell of a lot more money.
I'm telling you, man, it's you know what I'd be really curious to see is the Switch digital split, because I bet you it might be in favor of, it might be close because of the nature of the Switch, where it's, you know, like a portable system. I hear from a lot of people they like to get digital stuff because then they don't have to switch cartridges or anything.
I hear the opposite. I hear a lot of people prefer physical, but a lot of people are kind of stuck because so many things come out first digitally on the Switch. So many people end up buying it digitally just because they want to play it.
You're talking about like the stuff that goes limited run games and everything.
Yeah, well, that and a lot of things start out like Sonic. Wasn't Sonic Mania digital at first, and they did a physical version later on, right?
Yep. I bought it physically after it came out, but yeah, you're right. It's interesting to see that. I don't know. I think just the way the Switch works, I see why people prefer digital on that side, just because of the portability of it. I get it. Like if I wanted to carry 8 games with me, it'd be kind of annoying. And then of course the idea of losing your 8 games would probably be kind of frustrating as well.
So. I just think it's great. I keep rebuying things. I just bought Lumines, actually. I just got Lumines and I've been playing a bunch of Tetris. Having just tons of puzzle games on a handheld.
Yeah, they just had a sale, or there's one going on right now, I think, on the Switch for like
Square Enix.
Yeah. That's what happens to me on Steam. They're like, here's this game for $1. I know I'm never gonna play, or at least not gonna play it for a long time, and I still get it. So as soon as Switch starts running those like ridiculous like winter or like summer sales on like their indie games, it's over, man.
Humble Bundle starts doing Switch codes.
It's over. It's over.
I used to be like that too, but now I do that with Xbox One and PS4 games. I'll see it on like Amazon. Oh, it's like $15, or on Best Buy, $15. I don't even play it. I just buy it and I just put it on the shelf. I'm like, it's worth the $14 or $15.
I did that today. I own every version of I own all the DLC and everything. I got the season pass for Final Fantasy 15. I saw it for $10 today physically on Xbox One, and I was like, I'll get it.
I got that for $12 on Best Buy. I'm not even. I already have it.
Yep.
It's worth buying so you can show your grandkids, you know, like years and years from now, and they can laugh at you for having something physical on your shelf.
Hey, I'm gonna build. To be honest, man, I'm starting, like, the game collecting is starting to be a thing for me. Just like having the game is like starting to be a thing. I'm thinking of like Legacy and stuff like that.
Dude, we're gonna be those old people who are like, you know, like how like your grandparents are like, oh, the vinyl sounds better than your all digital, you know, super high quality MP3. We're gonna be the ones that are like, it's much better to have it on the disc.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be like that with my movies, because like I've streamed movies before, and it's like, you know, it's all right quality, whatever. But then like you pop in a 4K Blu-ray and it's like, yeah, nothing's touching this.
There is actually a big difference, especially if you have a bigger TV, like a 55-inch or up TV, or especially an OLED. You can see like those compression artifacts on streaming still. Absolutely. So I get that completely.
Yeah. That's why I'm all still physical. Till the day I can't, I will be buying physical for like at least films. Games, I'm still trying to, unless it's like only digital, then it's like, all right.
I mean, you don't lose any quality, so it's like, like movies at least make more sense. So I get all that. But yeah, Evan, you got a Discord question for us?
We got a couple. They're all kind of basic this week. So we got one where, I guess this is for all of us. If we were to remove one character from Smash each, which would it be?
Oh, weird. Remove one. I might take out Kid Link, and I like him, but Toon Link fights so similar for me. I just don't think we need that many links. And I'd only do that because I like the rest of the roster so much. I'd choose the one redundant.
Take out a character. That's an interesting. I'll go with I was gonna say I'm gonna say Jigglypuff. I don't like Jigglypuff.
Just remove Mango from the game. All right.
No, because back on like the 64 days, I didn't like Jigglypuff either. Because that whole thing where you go to sleep, you don't know if you're actually gonna get destroyed by it. No, I just didn't like Jigglypuff back then. I don't know. I think I said we'd always lose to him back in the day on the 64, but like, I don't know. Out of the Switch version though, that is everybody.
Who would I remove? I don't know who I would remove. I mean,
I'm torn between most of the keep away characters just because it kills the pacing of the game that I enjoy. But I mean, I get why they're there and people do like them.
Because it used to be like what? It used to be what King K. Rool was the one that everyone was like, get him out of the game because he was like broken.
Until everyone started kicking the crap out of him. Yeah.
I mean, he's all right. People just didn't know how to fight against him at first. They said the same thing about Little Mac when Little Mac first came. I don't know who I'd. To be honest, man, I like all the characters. Like having that variety in the game. Whenever I play online, I play against so many different characters. But man, I mean, Pichu can be tough to deal with. So I'm just talking about from a competitive standpoint. Pichu can also like duck. So like if you're a taller character, the low profile, it's really hard to like get like a hitbox on Pichu. But Pichu dies early. So I guess I'd remove Pichu. Be the one that
anybody want to get rid of those like 17 Fire Emblem characters?
I was just about to say. They all blend into me. They all
get rid of like
same.
2 or 3 of them. No one will know.
They all look the same. They just have a different sword. I'm like, just any of them. Just pick one. Get rid of them.
Blue sword, you're out.
Yeah, pick a hair color and a sword and just toss them out.
Oh man. What's the next question, Evan?
This one's for OJ specifically. Pick one of these 3. The rest would get expunged from history. Xenoblade, Fire Emblem, or Smash.
Screw you, whoever that question is.
It's from Rory. From Rory AB. You might
tell him to F off.
Which one goes?
Which you go? Which one stays?
No, you got no.
Any of those for me. Just toss anyone out, pick one random.
I think I'd probably go with Xenoblade. I honestly, as much as I like the other games, and even though they're much longer series, Xenoblade is such a unique RPG that should be celebrated. So I'm gonna pick that.
Well, I think he said it has to go.
Oh, I thought it was keep one, kill two.
It's keep one, kill two.
Keep one, kill two. Okay, go the other way. Oh wow, man! So you're getting rid of Smash and
Fire Emblem.
Wow.
I can't answer that question.
Right. They wrote that to get to OJ. I can tell.
Yeah, I can't. The reason why those games are the reason why I'm even doing YouTube. Like,
I guess I'd keep Smash just because of the representation in there of all the characters.
I would have kept Xeno because I feel like without Fire Emblem in history, some other company would have done something to take it over. And then if you get rid of Smash, that community sometimes, man, can be terrible. So it'd be good if it was gone.
Yeah, but then we're left with like PlayStation All Stars, man.
I don't think PlayStation All Stars would have existed had Smash not existed.
That's true. That's true. They would have been. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. I think OJ wants to keep Smash.
I can't. I'm not answering.
We have any other Discord questions, Evan?
We've got a couple. Anyone play Flipping Death? Thoughts on it? He just purchased it, and he was wondering if we had any.
I played it a bit ago. I had this weird issue where it had like this bug when I was trying to take over the dentist, and I couldn't get out of it. But it was an interesting idea where you go between the world of living and the world of the dead. But I played through most of it, but I was just getting I was getting kind of bored of the game for whatever reason, but the idea was cool. And that was a game I remember where they said they couldn't get it running on the Wii U, but they got it working on the Switch. I don't know if it's easier to design for, but I like the game. I actually put a video out for it. I remember, and I enjoyed the idea of it, but it just didn't hold me as much as I started to get further in with some of the, maybe it's the humor, maybe it's the visuals. Something just didn't hold me in the game.
But not a fan of the art style in that game.
Yeah, the art style. That's the thing. I think the art style turns a lot of people off from it. But the controls are kind of odd at times too. I remember I was controlling the dentist with the drill, and I was running all over the place. His arm was like everywhere. But it was all right though. It was all right. What's the next Discord question, Evan?
What is your favorite point and click adventure on the Switch? I don't know how many of you have played most of them.
Adventure.
Yeah, no, we had a couple Telltale games, I think, on there. But has anybody really cracked at any of them?
I was gonna say, does Batman count? Because Batman was all right, the Telltale series there, but I've never really got into any of the point and click adventure games, to be honest.
I played one on the Switch.
I
played Batman. Batman was good. I liked Batman, but I played that on the Xbox, I think, as well. It was either Xbox. No, it was Xbox. Yeah, played it on there already, and I played it on the Switch as well. I'm not a big Telltale person. I played The Walking Dead game. That was about it. But once you played one of the Telltale games, I feel like I played most of them. They're very, very similar formulas.
I played a couple choose your own adventure type things on Vita. One of them was called Machination, I believe. It's like a super hard puzzle, one of those point and click adventures. That was good, but yeah, I haven't played any on Switch.
I'll tell you what they got to do. They got to get Secret of Monkey Island on there.
Yeah.
I've
heard, never played those.
I'm on it.
Tales from the Borderlands on there.
I'm telling you, Secret of Monkey Island's a good one. That's on. I played that on 360. I think 360. Yes, it's on 360. So that's where I played. I think some other people played it on. What was that? What's the emulator for that called, Evan? That's Scum.
Yeah, the Scum emulator.
Yeah, Scum emulator. Yeah. Because I remember you had that on like a system back in the day too.
The handheld, the Canoe. Yep.
Yeah. So that's a good one though to check out. Yeah. People are saying Thimbleweed. There you go.
Thimbleweed. I know Daedalus been moving a lot of games over. I think they already have Book of Unwritten Tales, if that was one of theirs. I was pretty sure. And then Deponia should be coming as well.
Okay. There you go. Very cool. Very cool. How many other Discord questions do we have, Evan?
Just the one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you want to do the last one? Then we
can how do you feel about Leisure Suit Larry coming to the Switch?
I'm not surprised. I'm more surprised that it's going to the PS4.
Right.
Heavily censored.
To be honest. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting that they managed to do that, because I didn't think that series was ever coming back. That's from like way back in the day for some of it. I mean, they had one on the Xbox original as well. I don't know if they did anything after that though. I mean, I'm not really surprised, to be honest. I mean, Nintendo lets whatever on their stuff now. I mean, if you honestly at this point, like Leisure Suit Larry is kind of tame compared to some of the games that are on there, and you can look and you'll see what I'm talking about. But there's some weird games on there.
Some of those games might as well just be called like Titty Simulator.
They didn't even translate them. I don't think they're still like Japanese on the like the Switch eShop. So
sounds like a good game to me.
Yeah.
I mean, Sean did a video on it. I think Wood did a video on it. Trust me, at this point, Leisure Suit Larry is like G-rated compared to some of that stuff. But it's a weird series anyway. Some people check it out. I guess there was there one on 360? I just remember playing the one on the original Xbox, and I was like, oh, okay, this is Leisure Suit Larry. All right then. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's at this point, it'd be tough to shock me if a game came to the Switch at this point, just with kind of the lax nature of Nintendo with these games now. So, those are all the Discord questions, Evan?
That covers everything.
Very cool. Okay, so Max, there is a patent for a wireless VR system for PlayStation. We assume this is going to be for the next gen systems. We assume it's PlayStation 5. I am curious about a wireless setup because that's actually the one thing I said they would need to do to make it a bit more mainstream. Because the one reason I don't really use my PSVR that much is because the setup is really frustrating and annoying, and it's way too much for what you want to do. I mean, it's a game you're going to play a little bit of and then put back away. Let's be honest with it. That is the biggest thing. That, and they need to make the headset less bulky. So
yeah. I've heard a lot of people who use PSVR a lot say that they do wish it had modern controllers, because you can use the PlayStation 4 controller for a lot of stuff, but if you need to do motion controls, it's PlayStation 3 Move controllers.
Yes.
So I have heard some people say you need a modern solution.
Yes, it is. It is like those Move controllers. I had the Oculus Go. I tried that. That is smaller than the PlayStation VR headset. It's less capable, but it also has its own battery, its own processor, everything in there. So I don't think they'll make it so that everything is built into the PlayStation VR 2 headset or whatever. They'll have to somehow they'll have to transmit it somehow to the headset. And curious how they get away with that with latency and everything. It's gonna be interesting to see how they make that happen. But I think eliminating those cords, I feel like, is like the biggest thing they can do.
It is. So to people in chat who are being silly and saying PSVR still exists, as of the most recent numbers, I believe you can double me on this, Spawn. Hasn't it sold 3.5 million or something now,
Yeah.
PSVR?
It's the best-selling VR headset by a lot.
Yeah.
It sold more units than all other PlayStation or all other VR headsets put together.
And that's the thing, is that even though it's not mainstream by any stretch of the imagination, it's the first one that's sort of breaching into the mainstream. And I fully think that wireless is going to be the jump. I 100% think that the first person who makes it where you just pick up a headset and you put it on like a hat and you play the adventure and you take it off when you're bored or start getting motion sick, that's the one that's going to take off.
It's interesting because we heard rumors that there is going to be stuff already built into the PlayStation 5 to help with VR. Mm-hmm. It's very possible that that is what that could be for. If those rumors are correct, is a way to transmit it to the headset and make it wireless. It would have to be charged, running on its own battery and everything. So they have to make sure that you get at least 2 to 3 hours out of it. So there's a lot of things they have to figure out there.
I had a PSVR developer reach out to me not too long ago, and he was telling me about, or sorry, not a PSVR, a VR developer, and he was telling me that a lot of companies right now are trying to enter the VR space to do more stuff than just games, and apparently Disney is working on some sort of program where you'll be able to boot up a movie theater and watch a movie. So you'll be able to, like, a movie that's not yet on DVD or something that's about to come out on DVD, and you rent the movie and you just watch it for like $1. So you'll literally put on your VR headset and sit in a digital movie theater. And they're working on that technology now. So I think
they have that with that Oculus Go. One of like I guess it'd be like a skin or something. You can actually set it up and you can watch YouTube videos or just videos in general that you have. I think Netflix even has it, or others that do that. It'll even take the image or the video and put it there, but it does put you in like a theater, so you can kind of look around with Oculus and you're like in a theater watching it all the way down there. You're in like the 18th row or something. It's pretty funny. But that's a pretty cool way to do it. That's kind of neat. The real question is, will people be able to keep that PlayStation VR on their head for 2 hours? Yeah,
right. That's the biggest thing, is that I still can't. I'll be honest. I've never played VR longer than probably 15 minutes ever.
Yeah. I believe it. Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool stuff, but I can't. It trips me up. It messes my brain.
I mean, we were dealing with remember what happened to 3D TVs? Remember when that was a thing?
Right. I was telling my fiance today about how good 3DS was, and I feel like when 3DS came out and nobody used its 3D, but I feel like that was the death of 3D TVs, is because they realized, okay, we can't do it. Like this thing's doing it without glasses. We can't do this.
Yeah, that's pretty much gone now. I believe. I don't know. Whenever I go into like a Best Buy or something, they don't have anything about 3D stuff. So I guess it is gone. So I'm curious if VR goes the same way or they actually figured. I mean, Nintendo's doing VR, so there you go. Lap of VR.
Oh God.
Yeah, man. Hey, Sniper Elite's working on a VR project. You saw that Labo gun, right?
I did. I still, my favorite meme of that is the thing where it's the kid and he's got the VR gun on, and then it shows the JFK assassination.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting when they talk about that. But yeah, they did also talk about Sniper Elite. A new Sniper Elite's coming. Sniper Elite V2 is getting a remaster for all platforms, including the Switch. I believe plays it for Xbox One and everything. And then Sniper Elite 3 Ultimate is also going to the Switch. So it seemed, and they're doing a VR project. So it seems like Rebellion is like really busy with Sniper Elite stuff right now. So I never really got as into this. I played Sniper Elite on the original Xbox. I think I played V2. And I didn't play 3 or 4. So there you go. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see it go to the Switch. Gyro controls, maybe. I assume, yes. So
that'd be terrible, man. Every time you just barely move your hand, you miss a shot and lose the level.
I just remember in the first one on the original Xbox, they tried to have you time up your shots with the cannon fire in the background. I thought that was really cool back then. That was neat. That was actually one of the more expensive Xbox original games for a while there too. Remember that, Evan? It was like $20 or $25 for a while in the stores.
Yep.
That was the one we always look for. We're like, is that Sniper Elite in that trade-in? But it was good. It was good. So Castlevania got rated in Australia. It's a collection. It's hopeful that it's actually going to be a good collection. We had the one on the PlayStation 4 that came out.
Requiem. I just bought
Requiem. Yes, Requiem. Came out, and that was like 2 games, right? Symphony of the Night, Rondo of Blood.
Rondo of Blood, yeah.
So we're hoping that this is going to be a full collection or just more games in general, and that it's going to be on everything because it says multi-platform in the rating. So we're hoping that it's going to be like, it's just Xbox, PlayStation 4, Switch, PC, it's everywhere. Konami says, you know what was it, 33rd anniversary of the series? It's everywhere. That's the hope. And I wanted Nate to be here. Nate, who knows where he is? He's busy doing something. It's St. Patrick's Day, isn't it? Is that today? No, that was the other day. Yeah. So it's this weekend for it. I know that's why Sean's doing that. So maybe Nate's out doing that too. But it's a rumor that we heard about a long time ago for the Switch.
Yeah, I'd heard rumors about that. I'd had like leaks about that a year and a half ago. I'd heard that they were working on a new game and they were trying to work on a collection.
Yes. So this is something we heard about a while ago, and we were wondering where it was, and I guess they were just waiting. So here we go. I guess the collection's coming out. Now my question is, if it's already rated in Australia, when do they announce it? Is it a thing before E3?
Oh yeah, this looks like, I mean, if it's already announced, I think they're going to do like they did with remember PUBG? PUBG, they rated it in Australia for PS4, and about 30 days later they just like dropped it. They released a giant trailer, and remember, that was actually one of the top selling digital PS4 games last year, even though they dropped that in December. So I think it's one of the things of, if a game's hyped, I mean, it'll still sell.
Yo, if they drop it, like the Switch is going to sell really well with that Castlevania stuff on there, like the collection, because we assume it's probably going to run the same on all platforms, basically, if it's like the older Castlevanias. So from what we've seen with like indie style games, Castlevania drops on the Switch, man, that's going to go crazy.
What Castlevania games do you guys think it's going to be? Because I don't think it's going to be all of them. So like,
this is a question I posed to viewers in a video. Would you rather it be like 2 or 3 Castlevania games for $20, or would you rather just go crazy, just put everything on there and it's a $60 package?
So let me just start this by saying I love all the 2D ones for the most part. I really would pay $60 personally if it had all the Game Boy Advanced ones, all the Super Nintendo ones, all the really weird ones like the PC Engine. Like I want to get all the really weird stuff. I'm not as concerned with, what is it, Ariara Sorrows, whatever, the DS ones. I'm not as concerned with those ones, but I would like just the Game Boy Advance ones are my biggest concern.
Game Boy Advance would be cool.
I'm a huge fan of the DS trilogy, which the DS trilogy, it starts off with Dawn of Sorrow, which is like, I guess, like the GBA one kind of like remade. But I'm a big fan of the DS trilogy. Portrait of Ruin isn't that great, but Order of Ecclesia is really good, and I like Dawn of Sorrow. So I would pay $60. I know that I'm not trying to give Konami any ideas, but I'd pay $60 for the DS trilogy personally for me, because they're stuck on the DS. I mean, there's been no other.
That's like touch functionality and everything to it, right?
Touch functionality. It had some nice little things. I mean, it was gimmicky. Like you can like make like different types of patterns. Yeah. With the Dawn of Sorrow.
Would they be able to kind of work that out for people playing on the TV and everything, you think?
They just use the analog stick. Yeah.
I bet it'll be like what they did in which one of the Zeldas was it, where you had to like do the songs? That was Wind Waker, right?
Yeah, I mean, but like with Akami, we just used an analog stick for
you can just use it.
So I guess they can make that work. I think people would be excited for it. But yeah, I personally would prefer to just have as much possible jammed into a $60 package. At this point, they keep doing these $20 ones anyway. Just do one big one.
I agree. I just really like Order of Ecclesia. That, I mean, to me, that almost feels like that should get its own like complete remake. It's so good and nobody's played it, so it's so good, and nobody's played it. So
also make a physical copy.
Well, and OJ, you hit the nail on the head. That's the stuff that sells the fastest. The fact that it looks like it's the official name of it is Castlevania Anniversary Collection. I think they're going to sell stuff like OJ's talking about. Like the lesser known ones will probably sell the most, because people are like, what the heck? There's all these other Castlevanias. So I do hope it's like a wide range of stuff.
It's just going to be, because it's Konami, it's just going to be 1 through 4, and that's going to be that.
No, you're probably right, but I'm mad about it.
Oh, that's the dark timeline, guys. If okay, listen. For those who don't know, I'm a well, you guys know, but for the chat, I'm a big Castlevania fan. I love Castlevania games. They're all I like Lords of Shadow. So there you go. That tells you something about me. I like Lords of Shadow a lot. And if it was just the 1 through 4, John, I'd be pretty upset.
It's gonna be 1 through 4, and it's gonna be $30.
And you guys know I don't get upset about video games, like not for real, you know. But I might be a little actually like upset in my own real life. I might be upset. So
this would be, you know, what would be really fascinating is that they announce it and they do that weird thing where they just keep it on one platform. It's like it's coming out, it's gonna be on the PS4. Like that's it. That would confuse everyone, I think, because people are confused with the last one that they did.
Sony ported that themselves.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Requiem, because there's some upgrades to it when it comes to some like the sound and some other things that they've done. There's some DualShock 4 stuff that they added in. But yeah, Sony's from what I understand, Sony's in-house team like literally asked for that and ported it themselves. So
yes, because this seems like just straight up like anniversary collection. So I assume Konami's going to throw it everywhere. But after the last one, kind of the reaction people had initially when they saw it was just like a PS4 one, that would I think kill some hype pretty bad for some people. So we'll see. I hope they just put it on everything. Just be done with it. And I hope it's as much as possible. It'll just be 1 through 4 for $30 though.
I'll put this down now. If it's 1 through 4 for $30, I might not buy it just because I've beaten those so many times now. I want to get anything out of it.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. They should actually do something other than the Castlevania pachinko machine or something. You know, actually like.
The first games, those ones aren't like the Metroid. I like more Metroidvania. I should be more clear. I'm more of a Metroidvania fan than just the original Castlevania style of game. For those who don't know, Symphony of the Darkness, that's when it actually kind of started the RPG elements in there and like everything. Kind of how like the castle you go back and forth and all that, kind of like Metroid, but you know, the Castlevania in there. So I'm more of a fan of that than I am of the original ones. But Super Castlevania 4 is dope, but I've already beat it like a million times. Like that game's hard too. I don't know. Maybe I just suck at it, but that game's hard. I find the Castlevania games hard. The original ones.
Let me ask you guys this. We had some numbers leaked apparently for the MPD in February. There was some surprise here. So people were a bit shocked. Now, OJ, you had actual numbers. I think that was from Nate.
Yeah. Nate did give us actual numbers, the leaked numbers, which are pretty much always they're always right. You know, it's the initial numbers. Right now, Xbox One 220,000, so it was third with 220,000 guys. This is just the U.S. Okay, so just the U.S., not like North America, all of it, or South America, just U.S. NPD. So Xbox One 220,000, PS4 280,000, and the Switch 363,000. I don't know if that's a record or anything for February sales, but that seems a bit high for February.
That seems extremely high for February.
I was about to ask if that was a year or a quarter. That's weird. One month. That's just February.
Month, just the U.S. in February. 363,000 seems really high for February and for nothing that actually came out.
I'm trying to think. Nothing came out on really any console. That's so weird. What the heck?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I mean, I guess they just got carried by Smash and New Super Mario Bros. And
just got getting carried by the games that came out previously, Smash and all that.
It's also I think we're just gaming in general is really starting to dig deep into the casual fan base. Everybody's picking stuff up. Like about 6 of my friends in the last 8 weeks have bought a PlayStation 4 for the first time. A bunch of people I know are playing through Final Fantasy 15 for the first time right now because that game's like $10. So a lot of people are just picking stuff up because it's always on sale. So I think a lot of people are picking up Switches just because it's like, all right, there's too many games, I gotta get it.
A lot of people are saying the Pokemon hype from the Direct is what maybe caught some people. Yeah.
No, that's probably it, actually. Yeah, honestly.
It is possible that could be it, but at this point, this is like the slow time for the Switch technically compared to the back end of the year, like when everything's going to start dropping. So it does make you wonder a bit about how things are really going to start happening when June hits. Because that's when Mario Maker starts, and then we don't even know where all these other games are going to fit in, and then they're probably going to announce at least I'd say 1 or 2 unannounced things that are big games for this year at E3.
Where are they even going to fit though?
That's what we're trying to figure out right now, because I'm looking at their list and it's just I don't know where they're going to put all this stuff.
I don't know what's going to happen either way. I don't have enough time.
I think they're going to be 3 months where 2 big games come out per month for Nintendo, unless they push something to next year.
There's gotta be.
It might be what was it? I think it was October 2016, or no, was it October 2015? Was called Broketober, where like every 4 days another giant game came out. It was like Alien Isolation, like every Shadows of Mordor. All those came out like days apart. I think we're gonna have that with the Switch at the end of this year. It's gonna be another Broketober.
I need to look up just so I have a list and we can look at them.
The games coming out?
Yeah, I think I have a list here, but they're not in order of
first party or just all games.
First party from Nintendo. Oh, I mean, I guess exclusive games to them that you would, I guess, go to them for from like June on.
Well, you look up the list. I mean, I can go off the top of my head. So Yoshi in March.
Astral Chain.
June is where it starts. Marvel. I mean, I don't know if Marvel Ultimate Alliance is coming, but both summer for Marvel Ultimate Alliance and Daemon X Machina. Both of those are just listed for summer. June is Mario Maker. July is Fire Emblem Three Houses. August is Astral Chain. And then we still have Animal Crossing, Legend of Zelda, Pokemon, and Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah. Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah, those are just summer. Marvel Ultimate Alliance and Daemon X Machina are just summer. We don't know exactly when, but we got 3 games: Astral Chain, Fire Emblem, Three Houses, and Mario Maker. We know the months. We know the actual dates of Fire Emblem and Astral Chain, but Mario Maker is just June.
Yes, they're gonna have a Zelda and a Pokemon launch probably within a month of each other.
I think the setup is going to be September Animal Crossing, October Luigi's Mansion, November Pokemon, early December for Zelda.
And people are talking about Town in the chat too. Town was slated for 2019, but I mean, I don't know if it's still going to be 2019 or not. But yeah, Town's also slated for 2019.
Isn't Doom Eternal supposed to come out in 2019 as well?
Doom Eternal, yeah.
Because we think that's going to be the back half of the year too, and that's on everything, obviously. But that. Oh yeah, I forgot which call it's out this year too. Crash Team Racing.
Yeah, that's end of June.
And look, can't forget Sonic Racing.
Sonic Racing actually looks a little better. I'll admit that.
I know.
A little bit better after I saw it. I was okay. I can look at that. And then there's probably going to be, I'll say at least one game announced at E3 that's somewhat larger. It's also word going around about there apparently being another 2D Zelda game.
Could it be?
It's really weird.
Phantom Hourglass HD.
I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know where that's at. People have been talking about that as a rumor too. Smaller one, probably 4 Swords or something like that. But like,
okay, they can keep that Nintendo. You say 4 Swords?
I thought it would be cool to have like a little bonus game or something like Link to the Past or something. Just get moved for.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Link to the Past, yeah.
In anticipation of
4 Swords, though. They can...
So it is getting quite crowded there. It's going to be interesting in the second half if they're already like. I don't think anyone expected them to take January and then February with the other games on the other side with PlayStation and Xbox having some pretty good third-party games, and then it's. I think they're like the Switch is the only one growing right now. The other two have actually decreased according to those numbers year over year, about 20 to 25%. So I think Sony and Microsoft are definitely going to be announcing new platforms this year just because they're dropping.
Yeah, it seems that way. It's just everybody that has one wants one, I
mean, who else do you sell a PlayStation 4 to? It's almost about 100 million units at this point.
Yeah.
Like, who doesn't have a PS4 at this? I feel like most people at least have one or have aspirations to get one.
So I think most people have had 2. They had the one to get the Pro.
I got 3, yeah.
I got 2. So, yeah.
That's something I'm like, man.
This is off topic. I gave my my PS4, my original PS4 to my brother for Christmas, and I gave him Red Dead Redemption 2. And he texted me the other day and said, "Max, I've been playing this game for almost 100 days now. Like this is the pinnacle of gaming. Nothing will be better than Red Dead Redemption 2."
See, there's Nintendo Prime in the Super Chat actually saying second half Switch games are going to be fire. Yeah, they're stacking that back half. They absolutely are. That's gonna be like Mortal Kombat 11's coming out, and that's next month, right? I mean, I think I'm gonna probably get that on the Xbox, but I'll probably get it on the Switch as well, mostly just to cover it, check it out, and like for curiosity's sake. But if it plays close enough, I could see people taking the Switch version with them to tournaments and playing when it's not their turn, just to get like a combo right or something. So I'm wondering how that's gonna sell on the Switch. Fighters did all right.
Yeah, that's what people do with, I mean, Smash Brothers, so much to where, like, you know, Panda, one of the esports teams, they made a portable what was it? GameCube controller thing that also docks your Switch as well. And those are like selling like, or the pre-orders are like selling like crazy. You know, they did that on Kickstarter. So
yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. Take it February. I also talked to some people. It appears that March is probably going to go to the Switch as well from early signs so far. So I don't want to say it's absolutely going to happen, but there is a good chance. And you can, I'll say this now in March, the Switch might take every single month of the MPDs this year.
Probably.
You'll probably see that.
Yeah, because they have a bunch of games coming, whereas Microsoft and Sony are moving on to their next systems.
The one thing it depends on. I do think that Sony will probably win the month of Death Stranding, just because I mean people have been talking about that. The mystery around it is so much.
Is that this year?
The rumor is
we need it to be this year because apparently he's talking to the marketing team right now, so that could be for like. Yeah, that's gonna be weird. That's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna be curious if they could fit that in. That might end up being like a December game. Like I see it being like something they get out like right at the last month of the year.
I mean, there's that rumor that Last of Us 2 is dropping like October, November as well.
I think Last of Us 2 is gonna release this year. That's one of the reasons I wasn't sure about Death Stranding releasing this year because I do think Last of Us 2 is gonna come out this year. But if Last of Us 2 comes out in the same month as Pokemon and there's a Switch Mini out there, then I still think the Switch will end up outselling it.
Oh yeah, I mean anyone who's going to get Last of Us 2 already has a PlayStation.
Well, I mean, The Last of Us 2, the game itself is going to sell ridiculously well. Like the game,
the game will do fantastic. That'll be up there for Game of the Year. That'll be running like sales numbers like up there with Pokemon. I can see that for sure.
I have a strong feeling if it comes out this year, it's probably going to win Game of the Year. Most likely. I mean, we haven't seen it yet, obviously, but based on the hype and obviously Naughty Dog seemingly putting a lot into it, it's gonna be on the ballot for a lot of Game of the Year. So it'd be cool to see. But I mean, at this point, okay, how about we settle this now? Which one comes out this year? Is it Death Stranding or is it Last of Us 2?
Last of Us 2.
I honestly think both might come out, and I'm being serious.
Ooh, okay.
I've heard some rumors about the fact that both of those are very, very what do they call it? Play complete, where you can get from the beginning to the game to the end of the game.
Yes.
They need a lot of stuff done to it, but both of them are, or what do they call it? Feature complete. That's what I've heard of. Both of them are very close to feature complete.
Yeah. So, man, if they can get them both out, that'd be interesting. Because at that point, they're definitely moving on to the PlayStation 5 next year. So,
and they're just gonna either put these games over, or if this backwards compatible thing is right anyway, you'll be able to play them on the PlayStation 5 anyway.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I think both of those are going to have a PlayStation 5 version. I don't know about other stuff. I don't know about Ghost of Tsushima. Definitely not Days Gone, but I definitely have heard some stuff that Death Stranding is made as a PS5 game and is running on a PS4.
I full-heartedly believe that Ghost of Tsushima is a PlayStation 5 game. Everything we've seen on it, it looks too good, and they've shown us almost like nothing, so we don't know how far in development it is. That game, and Sucker Punch has put so much time to that. I don't think they're gonna squander its release by trying to get it on the PS4. They may have a dual release with it, but I don't think they're gonna try to just aim for the PS4. I'm pretty sure that's a PS5 title.
So do you think this is a Watch Dogs situation where they showed us the premium next gen version and they'll sell a downgraded version?
Dude,
possibly.
Dude, look at how games are running on that Xbox One S right now. Like, it's Anthem like struggles, and Ghost of Tsushima I think looks better.
Well, the thing about it though, Ghost of Tsushima, there was like nobody on the screen though. There was barely any. It was just empty field. So I think they can get the graphics looking that good, at least just showing it off. I don't think it's too far of a reach to say that's like a PS4 Pro, and there's like no enemies. There was like no enemies out on there. So I mean. But I can maybe see that scene on PS4, and also PS5, both.
It's possible, but I feel like it's just so limited in what we've seen that I don't think the game, the 2 times we've heard the announcement and then saw the stuff last year, like I don't think it's close to being done. And I could be wrong. I just don't think it's been close to being done. I'm pretty sure that'll be a PlayStation 5 semi-launch title. I think Sucker Punch will do similar what they did with Infamous Second Son, where it's launch window, where it comes out like the first game 3 months after the console release. It's like, oh, this is their first big game. I think that's what they're going to do with this, and this will be like it's 3 months after the release, so sometime in 2020. You're saying that
they completely because they announced this for PS4. This game has obviously been in development for a while, so that's kind of, I mean, they announced it for PS4. So I mean,
they announced it for PlayStation in general.
I thought they said PS4.
Did they say PS4 on it?
I want to say that they did a behind closed door demo on a PS4 already. 1 second here.
I'm pretty sure I thought they said this is a PS4 game, and they've been working on this since Infamous Second Son was done, right? So I mean, did they have dev? I mean, they have to have been working on this for years now, right?
On PlayStation.com, the list of official PS4 games includes Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay. Yeah, I thought. I mean, that would be kind of garbage.
But we've seen games do that before.
Oh yeah, I'm not ruling it out.
I agree. Cross release, yes. I like cross gen release. I agree with that. Yeah, I can agree with that.
I'm looking forward to that. It reminds me of Way of the Samurai before it became kind of bad. So I'm looking forward to Ghost of Tsushima. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. And our last topic is one that is near and dear to Max's heart. Judgment is in trouble. This is an interesting situation.
We had a good talk about this, huh, Jordan?
Yeah, we had a really good discussion today about
as Americans, we looked at this and said, okay, so when's the game? When can we buy the game? Like, we didn't really see it the same way that they saw in Japan. Basically, one of the voice actors, his likeness in the game, was busted for cocaine use and possession and everything. He's in a lot of trouble, but Judgment was halted. They're not selling it anymore right now. Anyway, they pulled it off shelves. It seems they're not selling it anywhere. So apparently it has to do with them. We think, Max, we think they're just going to remove his likeness from the game like they did to Yakuza 4, right?
Yeah, and I'm so mad about this. I can't even see it as funny. This was honestly one of my most hyped games of the year. I actually made a video at the beginning of 2019 called the 10 games I want to play the most this year, and that was high up on my list. So the fact that it's just canceled so close to release, or maybe being delayed 6 months, is what some of the numbers people are throwing around. I'm upset. I'm very upset. So what I ended up doing is, the second that news came out, what I did is I went on eBay and I found a copy before they got more expensive, and I bought one from Japan. So it's going to be fully in Japanese, but a friend of mine speaks perfect Japanese. She's a banker. So I'm just going to try and get her to help me play through it so I can at least see some of it, because we may not see it till 2020 in English now.
Yeah, because it's supposed to come out in June. And I was actually looking forward to this too, Max, because I've fallen behind Yakuza, and honestly catching up is gonna be very difficult because there's quite a few of them, but I saw this as a cool way to get into the Yakuza series without actually getting into the Yakuza series, instead getting into we hope, if it's good enough, which it seems to be, the first in a series. So like if I showed up at Yakuza when it first showed up, it'd be much easier. So I saw Judgment, I was like, oh, okay, that looks cool. It's like Yakuza mixed with Ace Attorney, basically Phoenix Wright.
Well, and apparently the people who are playing through it now in Japanese said it's maybe better than Yakuza. And one of the things people said they like is that it manages to remove some of the zaniness of Yakuza. Like the side quests are more centered and focused, and there's a bigger centering on the world. Like this feels like a real town for the first time, instead of just a series of really fun, wacky things to do. I'm so hyped for it.
So what's happened here is the Yakuza spinoff Judgment in Japan has been halted in sales after Pierre Taki.
That's right. Taki.
Yep, arrested on suspicion of using cocaine, and he voiced apparently Olaf as well.
In Japanese. Yeah,
they're updating him. They're patching his voice out.
Yeah, so this is serious. Sega started deleting tweets about Judgment, and it's serious stuff. Over in Japan, drug use is it's a bad thing. Like you were destroying your honor and everything. So they are basically scrubbing you from their history of working with them. Basically, they don't want to be associated with you. Nothing.
From what I've heard, from what people have been telling me, and just things, the problem is that because a lot of the illegal drug trafficking is done by the Yakuza, and you don't want your business to be associated with it, because a lot of the major drugs that come in is funneled through Yakuza. So you don't want it's ironic, right? Yeah, but you don't want your business to be associated, that levied with fines. There's other things that could happen. So it's just something that that it's taken very seriously because, that's a very serious matter.
So are they going to go to all the movies he's ever starred in and start digitally altering them out? Are they going to take them out of publication?
Actually, that does happen a lot. Where what they do is instead of removing you from the movie, they just take your movie off the shelf. That actually happens a lot in Japan, where you get busted for drugs and they freaking take your stuff.
Well, was it Yakuza 4? They took him out, right?
Yes,
they like digitally removed the guy or changed his appearance.
Yeah, they changed his appearance and replaced the voice actor.
So here's the good news, I would say, for Judgment, and why I don't think it's actually going to be delayed, Max, for the Western release. They already did the dub in English for the game, and they don't necessarily have to have a Japanese track that launches with it, right? They could patch it down the road.
But that's a huge selling point of this. This was going to be the first dual audio game the studio ever released. That's a huge thing that's in all the trailers and stuff, is that all the Japanese is in it and all the English. Right. So they'd have to undo all that marketing. They might do it though.
Well, they could still launch it with the promise of, look, it was either we launched it without this or we delay it 6 months. I think most people would say, okay, yeah, that's fine. Just go ahead and release it. Then they'd have to change his appearance in the game. I don't know the amount that would go into that. It's out in June, so it would have to be gold in about 2 months. Yeah,
I don't think they'd have to change it for the Western release. Like, when it comes to like drug stuff here, it's like people just want the game; they don't care. And if they really want to make any money on this game now, here, just release it because we don't care. Like, do what they need to do. Be strict in Japan, that's fine. No one cares here. We just want the game. So if they want to make any money off of it, who cares? I get that they care there, but no one cares here.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't get it here, but it's a shame to see though, because that was going to be a really cool game to see come out. Now it's kind of tied up in this, and I wanted to play the game. So, but we'll see what happens. Maybe everything goes smoothly on there, and they figure it out, and they still get it out and launched in the West, because I think it would actually do pretty well here. So, but we'll see. Either way, Max, you have a copy coming, so there you go.
Yeah, I think so. My thing is, I definitely think that this will be the best-selling game from that studio if they get it out here in a timely manner. Like that Yakuza 6 didn't sell because it's intimidating. Judgment 1, oh hell yeah.
So that was the last topic. We have some super chats actually here still to go through before we finish up. Let me see. We have Yami Industry says, once Rainway comes to Switch, it's over. I forgot about Rainway.
I did too.
I don't know if that's ever coming. They use the Switch in their marketing too. That's kind of a shame. Kiratin Getsu says PSVR XXX Sony is censoring games because they're going to incorporate a new adult tier of PlayStation Network that plays content uncensored with PSVR implementation. All right. You know what? Based on how Blu-ray won, you never know. You never know. Olu says, hypothetically, if Nintendo was to make another Switch, how powerful do you think it need to be to compete with the new gen coming in? That's a good question, actually, about that, because no matter how much more powerful, unless you're talking about the next gen Switch, if it's an upgraded Switch Pro, it still, I think, still has to play the same games that the regular Switch plays. Like, I don't think it's going to just automatically play because at that point you're starting a new generation almost.
It's going to need to be a 3DS DS thing where.
Yeah, I mean, I know they did that with the new 3DS where only certain games could play on it, so that did happen. But at this point, the Switch is selling at such a rapid pace. By the time they even did that, the Switch will have like between 50 to 60 million on the market. So that's gonna be weird. That's gonna be a weird situation that happens. But I think the Switch will be a 5 to 6 year system when it's all said and done. Before they have another one introduced, the old Switch will probably still stick around for a bit, just because the 3DS is still around. So I think power wise, you'd probably be looking at right now, looking at them, probably like for the next gen Switch. Honestly, it'd probably be like a PS4 Pro. In how long from now? 3-4 years from now, maybe.
Something like that. That's what I would guess.
I've seen some design documents that make it sound like that already exists in a lab somewhere, but I feel like more than anything, I definitely think we're going to see a Switch Mini. And I think once the Switch Mini takes off, I don't think they're going to. I just don't see them worried about a Switch Pro.
Well, the Switch Mini is a lot of us are pretty sure it's probably going to launch at the end of this year, before Pokemon or alongside Pokemon, and that the Switch Pro would come next year. And it wouldn't be a massive upgrade; it'd be like a new 3DS to a 3DS, most likely. So games like Doom will run at 720p consistently through. Well, they might even put a patch out to try to get it higher than that, but that's kind of what you'd be looking at, is anything with a dynamic resolution or frame rate. Like Xenoblade 2 would really get a lot of help from that, for example, for its visuals and resolution. But that's what I'm thinking. And then, way down the road, they'll have the next generation backwards compatible and everything. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. But the Mini is their priority because it's their cheaper system, and cheaper systems sell. That's why everyone buys an Xbox One S and a regular PlayStation rather than a Pro or an X. Cheap sells, and that's the strategy. And of course for kids. So I would expect it to be announced in October, and it'd probably release in November alongside Pokemon.
Smart move, man.
Yeah, I can see it with Pokemon. I know Dreamcast guy's been talking about, he thinks like a Switch Mini is coming for a while, but I can see it coming alongside Pokemon, like a Switch Mini, just because you get it cheaper, you get Pokemon, that is instant. Yep. I mean,
as long as there's a Sword and Shield, variant
edition. Oh yeah, there's gonna be.
I'm going for that one 100%.
And Nintendo will announce a system like 3 weeks before they sell it. So they will do that. They'll announce as close as they can. So I think October they'll announce it, and then November they'll launch it.
I'm a big new hardware guy. I like new consoles, like closed box devices. So it's always exciting. Even if I don't need it, I still.
Well, hey, in 2 months, I get to buy a new Xbox. There you go.
Yeah, I mean that new Xbox streaming one. I don't need it, but I think I want to buy it.
I'm gonna buy it. Yeah, I've already made up my mind. I'm so fascinated about the idea of a all digital console without a disc drive. I want to get it.
Then again, I'm a nerd, so I mean, does it matter? I don't know if it
matters. RTX Gaming says, any word of the release date of Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch? I think they cleared that up. It's coming out the same day, right?
It's already cleared up.
April.
Yeah.
April 23rd. Yep, it's going to be playable in about 2 weeks at PAX East. So
I'll be checking it out.
Yep, there you go. Look for footage. RTX Gaming. You should see footage of it and everything. People playing it. I believe Nate, Jordan will play it, and I'm sure they'll have cameras out if they're allowed to. So we should be good on release date. Should be same day for what we're seeing.
Not the only big thing at PAX.
Because you're talking about Borderlands. We'll see. We'll see what happens there.
It's happening.
You're gonna be on that panel. I know that.
Oh, absolutely.
Wishbone asks, whatever happened to Deep Down from Capcom on PS4?
Right.
I don't know. Evan, what happened to that game?
I don't know, but then I've checked lists of upcoming games from a lot of different places. It's still on there as a TBA. I don't know why.
Evan's on that game. He's got a PS4 Pro now. He's on it.
Vaporware. Dude.
Oh man. I mean, Below eventually came out, so you never know. Mario Cruz asked the Mario Cruz asked, is it true that whoever smelt it dealt it?
Legally, yes.
Is that legal?
I don't know.
if you comment about it, if you smelt it, but you didn't comment about it, then you didn't deal it.
Whoever proclaimed it claims it.
We were just trying to rhyme everything back then.
I know, right?
Avedon Smith says, great show as always. Thanks, Avedon. Make sure you check him out on his channel. And then Sakon 10 says, Monster Hunter for Switch could be announced soon. There's that anniversary, I believe, right, that they're doing, celebrating. I think that might have just been more DLC for Monster Hunter World. Although that could just end up being, that could be announced for free E3. You never know. Capcom should show up and be like, yo, new Monster Hunter for Switch. Here you go. Because they're kind of, they're still supporting World. They got a lot of, what's the word, engagement for World engagement. So they're fine there. I think they're kind of interested in developing like a Monster Hunter just for the Switch and then continue on with maybe the next Monster Hunter World and everything. They got it made right now. They can make 2 different Monster Hunters and sell both of them easily. So
I mean, they're dropping that huge expansion that changes the game in fall. So they're supporting Monster Hunter World a lot.
Monster Hunter is the best it could ever be right now.
And they just put Witcher in there, right? Geralt just got added.
They're doing
like there and missions and all that.
They're crossing that game over with everything, man.
Yeah,
but
Horizon.
That's fine.
I mean, good for them. It sold 10 million copies, right?
Plus.
Yeah, good for them. So there you go. There you go. Why not? Why not? I guess that's I think that's it for today or tonight. I don't know if you guys have anyone you wanted to rate or anything, any ideas there, you can let me know. But while we're looking for anybody to rate and everything, we go around. OJ, where can they find you, man?
Yeah, you can just find me right here on YouTube, Player Essence. Also on Twitter, Player Essence. I've got some big plans for the upcoming week. A lot of cool Xenoblade, Fire Emblem, and Super Smash Brothers content. Really kind of kicking that into gear. I've been writing some, believe it or not, scripts. I never write anything. So I've been writing some stuff. Really looking forward to kind of pushing that content more. So look forward. Subscribe to the channel if you're into Smash Brothers, Xenoblade, Fire Emblem, action games. Been playing some DMC, Zelda, all that cool stuff. So yeah, thank you for having me on once again.
Yeah, man, definitely. And then Max, where can they find you, man?
YouTube.com/Dreamcast guy. On Monday, we keep expecting the Sonic movie trailer to show up, and it hasn't yet. So I've decided, screw it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just explain to you the entire trailer and do some crude drawings. So on Monday, shot for shot, I'm going to tell you the whole trailer. That way I can actually tell you it's not as bad as that art. That art is a little bit misleading, and people are curious. So let me just explain to you what the heck this weirdness is. So that'll be Monday.
Right as you put out that video, the trailer drops.
I know, right? People are gonna be comparing my awful drawings.
I see. Okay, so people are saying you can raid the Yellow Kazoo. If somebody gets a link for that, we can drop that in. That works. And then Jordan, where can they find you, man?
You can find me over on the YouTube channel, Jordan Fringe. Doing a whole series of Pokemon Explained, going over the lore of Pokemon, and I'm keep making them better and better with, editing and production value. Pokemon Showcases started the trend now of covering some Animal Crossing stuff and a lot of Nintendo related stuff. So if you want to check it out, glad to have you. That'd be great.
Cool. All right, sounds good. And then Evan, why don't you explain to everybody where they can see or listen to the podcast right away and all that good stuff for people who want to do it.
If you want to listen to the podcast, we have it posted up in a bunch of places. It mainly goes up through SoundCloud, but I think it hits the iTunes Store and one other spot, I think.
Google Play as well as what's
and Google Play. If you want to watch it still after we go off air, there's a Patreon you can hit up. It's our Spawnwave Patreon. It's $1. It gets you into our Discord, and you have access to all the episodes that day. They get released usually a week later. And for those who don't know, we had a episode 100 special edition shirt that came out last week. It's still got 1 week to go on the shop before I convert it to the non-turbo edition. So if you wanted to check that out, I think there's links probably below the video.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, that shirt was actually pretty cool. I saw a lot of people are getting them, and they look pretty neat. So very cool. Very cool.
Need to wait for it to come in the mail.
There you go. Yeah, but that's going to do it here for tonight. SpawnCast episode 102. Thanks everyone for joining us. We'll be back next weekend. Sean, I'm sure will be back. I'm sure Nate will be back and everything from there. St. Patrick's weekend. And we'll see you guys next weekend, 9 p.m. Eastern time.